NCAA football from Ohio Stadium in Columbus, Ohio. The Sooners of Oklahoma against the Buckeyes of Ohio State. Now, the Oklahoma Sooners, they are always in the top 10, it seems, and they're off to a good start this year, having won their first 10 games in defeating Utah last week, Vanderbilt the week before. Ohio State defeating Minnesota 38-7 last week and opening with a 10-0 win over Miami of Florida. Hello again, everybody. I'm Keith Jackson to call the play for this important ball game this afternoon. After last week in Lincoln, Nebraska, we kind of wondered what in the world we'd do to top that act as Nebraska upset Alabama. But if you were looking for a game and an act, this would have to be the one, the first meeting ever between the Sooners and Ohio State. For a moment, let's go back to the last 4 seasons plus 2 games. Barry Switzer, head man at Oklahoma. The Sooners have won 43, lost 3, and tied 2. In the same period of time, the Ohio State Buckeyes under Woody Hayes have a record of 42 wins, 5 losses, and 2 ties, so the records are quite comparable. The Buckeyes and the Sooners represent citadels of college football, no question about that. Oklahoma's ticket allotment for this ball game, a mere 3,800. They probably could have sold 10 times that many. The band did not come, so they did return some tickets, and those were gobbled up quickly. Press coverage for this game today, the greatest in the history of football at Ohio State University. Oklahoma's offensive numbers are always impressive, but look at that bottom set of figures there. That jumps out at me. 17 fumbles, 12 lost. They've been penalized 16 times in the last 2 games, which might indicate perhaps the Sooners don't quite have their act together for 77. It could change today, though, in having this young man, Thomas Lott, back at quarterback. This big junior out of San Antonio, Texas, has had nerve problems in a knee, and it's troubled him some. But today he says he is fit and ready, and he can go. He's not that much of a passer, but then he hasn't had to be. With Lott in the backfield, Oklahoma offers one of the fastest quartets of backs in the country. He had his first start a year ago in the big Texas game, and he's kept the job ever since. And he still has people like Steve Rhodes to throw to. Now, the man who is considered the thrower among the OU quarterbacks is this one, number 2, Dean Blevins. He lost the starting job a year ago because of injury to Lott. But when Blevins is in the game, the probability of the pass is much higher. But don't give up on Blevins as a runner. He can haul it as well. It was Blevins, if you remember, who helped save the big one at Nebraska last year. This senior from Norman going for his 4th letter, and I mentioned Steve Rhodes. He's back to fly down under the deep pass, and the Sooners will throw it long. But it's the wishbone running that has made them famous. Billy Sims, Elvis Peacock, and Kenny King are the setbacks out of the wishbone offense. And Billy Sims, number 20 at 200 pounds, is from Hooks, Texas, only a sophomore after losing a season to injuries. But he is, in fact, a little bit more mature than the average sophomore. 2 games, 15 carries, 165 yards. That is not bad. Now, Elvis Peacock, number 4, the 206-pound senior from Miami, Florida, the only senior in the starting backfield, going for his 4th letter. He's averaged better than 6 yards per carry during his career at Oklahoma. The fullback in the Sooner wishbone, Kenny King, number 30, is told by the coaches that he is the quickest of all the men coming out of that wishbone formation. Now, the man who's working with us today as commentator and analyst is the only coach I know of whose record is 4-0 against the Oklahoma Sooners. Ara Parsegan did it when he bossed the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. But, Ara, tell me, what does 17 fumbles, 14 turnovers, and 16 penalties in 2 games tell you?
Well, I think Barry Switzer knows well that he can ill afford those kind of errors against the likes of an Ohio State team. Incredibly, Oklahoma is 2-0 and has scored 87 points in those games and still had 14 turnovers. They're still the masters of the wishbone, as you well know. But this year, you'll see more motion by the fullback, more flankers and sets to keep the defense from ganging up on the wishbone. On the other side of the coin, defensively, you'll find that they're a bit suspect, I think, because they've given up 47 points this year, unlike the national championship teams that Barry had with the Selman brothers. So we'll have to watch to see whether or not the defense is going to be able to hold up against this fine Ohio State team. Injuries will be a factor in this because they have a couple of youngsters nicked up.
They're not as big defensively either.
They're not as large either, but they have speed and quickness. But I think there's a couple of key things in there, whether Kinlaw can go or not. Burgett is also injured, so you have that problem.
Well, let's get an update on the Reggie Kinlaw story, the fine middle guard, and call in our colleague, Bill Fleming.
Well, the story, Keith, on Reggie Kinlaw, the quarterback-eating nose guard of Oklahoma, is that he was injured a year ago, had surgery on his left knee, re-injured the knee against Vanderbilt, and the doctor said, well, it looks like surgery once again. However, Reggie said, no dice. I'm going to work it out myself. Well, believe it or not, it's an amazing story that he has worked it out. He's been in uniform for 4 days, and he will play today. He will not start, but you'll see number 62 in there. Our ABC camera crew went to Norman, Oklahoma, where Jim Lampley talked with Coach Barry Switzer about this game against Ohio State.
Tell me this, in this era of more balance in college football, more upsets early in the season, this, despite the fact that it's so early in the season, is a game that has real national championship ramifications. Do you think it's too early to talk about that?
Well, I don't think so. You know, everyone has talked about before you did, so there's been a lot written and said about it. And I think it's two teams of great perennial powers in college football with great traditions. And I think that it's a great game for us. We've never played Ohio State. Of course, they've never played us. And I think that football is, of course, a great thing for the state of Oklahoma. And it's a great thing for our school. And we play a lot of intersectional games, but some have not ever had the prestige this carries for us. We played Southern Cal in '72. They were defending national championship. We tied them. That was a big game. Texas is always big. But this is probably the biggest game that we have played. And I think Michigan, of course, in the Orange Bowl a couple of years ago, when we won the national title, it was a big ball game, certainly. But this is certainly both teams undefeated. We both probably haven't played up to our potential yet. I know we haven't, and we're looking forward to it. And I hope that when we go down the ramp up there, our kids have played in front of 9,000 people before, and we recruit good players to come to Oklahoma because of games like this. We sell it, and that's part of our tradition, and so I don't think we're going to be intimidated.
Wayne Woodrow Hayes, in his 27th season as the head football coach at Ohio State and 191 victories here, pretty well defined his career. Woody actually has been coaching since 1935, and every day of it has been in the state of Ohio. His first job was a high school assistant at Mingo Junction.
Back in just a moment.
This special presentation of Oklahoma versus Ohio State is brought to you by
If we prepare ourselves physically, get the people physically ready to play, and learn our mental assignments and get mentally ready to play, when we walk down that ramp in Columbus, we'll be ready to play those people. And I don't think Oklahoma gets intimidated by any place we go to play. We played in some big ball games before. That's why you came to Oklahoma, to play in games like this. You get your opportunity this Saturday. I don't know where we'll be ranked. We'll probably be ranked 3rd or 4th. Ohio State will be ranked either 3rd or 4th. The team wins this ball game will be ranked the #1 team the next week. A great opportunity to play for national championship.
And they will do it before a jam-packed crowd at Ohio Stadium in Columbus, Ohio. And the Oklahoma Sooners, wearing white, are coming onto the field. Oklahoma winning their first 2 games this year, ranked 4th UPI, 3rd Associated Press. Oklahoma from the Big 8 Conference. Ohio State winning their first 2, ranked 3rd in the coaches poll, 4th by Associated Press. And today, the Buckeyes and the Sooners in their first game. This is a Buckeye. Now, all of you who tried to explain to your children what a Buckeye is, that's it. You can makes a very nice coat button, as a matter of fact. But Aaron Parsegian, as we settle down now before this massive crowd in this historical stadium for this first game ever between Ohio State and Oklahoma, the weather could certainly be a factor. The Buckeyes are now entering the stadium as you hear the roar come up, but I believe that we've had a little bit of a break in the forecast for this afternoon.
Really did. The rain forecast has diminished considerably. We have a temperature of about 78 degrees, but there's high humidity, and that makes a difference in the contest. It does have a tendency to sap the strength of the football players. They've got about 12, 14 pounds of equipment on. But the wind will be more of a factor this afternoon than anything. It's coming out of this direct south at 10 to 15 miles an hour, and it's supposed to increase more than that, and that's tough to kick in.
That'll be right to left as you look at the ball game tonight. Now, what about this stadium, the intimidation factor for a visiting team?
Oh, Keith, you know, I brought teams into this stadium when I was at Northwestern, and they're not going to be intimidated. Barry Switzer is here. He's a winning football coach. His kids have been in big stadiums. And the other thing here at Ohio State, unlike what people might think, it is not going to intimidate you because there is a buffer of a track, and you're really removed from the stands. At Oklahoma, they're right up on top of you. At Notre Dame, they're right on top of you, and you hear the crowd even more. So I don't think you're going to see Oklahoma's ball club intimidated. The game's going to be won on that carpet down there.
You say that because you're not down there.
I'm happy of that.
Back for the kickoff of this big one in just a moment.
Advantage Doppler HD, the fastest radar in the world. Severe weather information, 9.
This football game, the first meeting ever between the Oklahoma Sooners and the Ohio State Buckeyes. The Oklahoma Sooners have won the toss, and they have elected to kick off to Ohio State. One of the reasons, and the only reason I can possibly think of, that they would make that kind of a decision is in so doing, they get the wind early in the ball game.
As I mentioned, Keith, the wind is a factor here. It looks like more than 15 to 20 miles an hour. Look at those flags standing straight up. And any team that has to kick into that wind is going to have difficulty. The advantage should be Oklahoma's in the first quarter.
All right, the deep men for Ohio State. Ray Griffin, 44, is in the middle. Jeff Logan is to his left or the right of your screen. And Mike Guess is, Ron Springs is on this side of the field. So here's the kickoff now by Von Schoeman as the wind carries it beyond the field of play, and the officials whistle it dead and bring it out to the 20-yard line with Gene Calhoun, the referee, Bob Placeris, Bob Degenhart, John McClintock, Dan Upson, and Otto Pulls, the officials for the game. The starting backfield for Ohio State lines up this way at quarterback with Rod Gerald, number 8. Ray Griffin will be the tailback, 44. Ron Springs, the fullback, number 23. And James Harrell, number 11, is the flanker. And they run sort of a tight end offense. In other words, they got two big horses at 248 pounds apiece, Bill Jaco at right end and Jimmy Moore at left end. And they send Harrell wide to the right out of the I formation, first down at the 20 for the Buckeyes. Harrell going in motion toward the line. The tailback, Ray Griffin, has the ball to the 21-yard line, and you get a quick indication of the defensive flow by Oklahoma. Now, the offensive line up front for Ohio State lines up with Jimmy Moore at tight end, Chris Ward, 272 at a tackle. Mark Lane played center, 220 at guard this year. Doug Porter is at center today. Kenneth Fritz is the offensive guard on the other side. Joe Robinson, number 70 at tackle, and Bill Jaco is the other tight end. And it's second down and 9 from the 21-yard line for Ohio State. Again, ball faked off this time to Griffin, given to Harrell, the wingback coming around. He is knocked out of bounds, short of first down. Coming upfield blocking was Bill Jaco, the tight end, and coming across to knock him out was Darrell Ray. The Oklahoma defensive front, Reggie Mathis, Dave Hutchins, Richard Murray at middle guard, Phil Tabor and Barry Burgett. The linebackers for Oklahoma, George Cumbie, a fullback last year, and Darrell Hunt. And the secondary for the Sooners, Darrell Ray, Terry Peters, Bud Hebert, and Zach Henderson. Now a change as Herman Jones went on the field and then came back off as they set up out of the I. And this time it is Ron Springs working out of the tailback position. They put the big man at the deep spot in the I formation. And Springs, trying for the first down, got very close to the 30-yard line. Some of the numbers on these two teams, you can see, they are ranked very high nationally among the top teams of this country. And you can also see there, as the linesman sets the marker, that it is fourth down Ohio State, as the Buckeyes on that particular play look quite indecisive as to what they wanted to do to the tight side.
Well, they're trying to make substitutions to go in there with a short yardage play, it looked like, Keith, and they got mixed up on their subs. Let's see what field position does here. The first kick into the wind.
David McKee, a junior out of Columbus, will do the punting, fumbles the snap for a moment, hits it up in the air. The wind will get that knuckleball, and Oklahoma will get the football in very good field position. They'll have it outside of their own 40-yard line. So here come the Sooners with all that speed out of the wishbone, and they do have field position. The starting unit for Oklahoma will be Tom Lott at quarterback. Thomas making his first real healthy appearance of the year. Elvis Peacock, Billy Sims, and Kenny King will be the fullback. Well, Steve Rhodes, the split end or wide receiver for Oklahoma. They actually marked that ball inside the 40, surprisingly. I thought the wind had kicked it out of bounds outside the 40. Call it the 38-yard line, and first down Oklahoma. Thomas Lott gives it to the fullback, the up man out of the wishbone, Kenny King. He gets it to the 41-yard line for 3 yards. Up front, the big guys in the trenches for Oklahoma, Carl Bilderschweiler, Jaime Melendez at guard. Paul Tabor is the center. The other guard is Greg Roberts. You see him pull a lot today. Sam Clappin is the tackle, and the tight end is Victor Hicks. It is second down and a long 7 for Oklahoma from the 41. Thomas Lott rides it down the line, turns it upfield, and he runs right into number 94, Dave Atkins, a linebacker. Atkins kissed him eyeball to eyeball as he turned it upfield, but he did get yardage out of it. Ohio State lines up with Paul Ross, Byron Cato, Aaron Brown, Eddie Beeman, and Kelton Dantzler. The linebackers, Tom Cousineau, David Atkins, and the secondary, Tom Roach, Lenny Mills, Todd Bell, and Mike Guest. Todd Bell is a freshman. At the 46-yard line, third down and 2.5 for Oklahoma. Lott goes the other way, gets on outside, and he's got the first down. Coming up out of the secondary, Tom Roach, the strong safety for Ohio State. If he'd been able to juke Roach and get around the corner, he'd have been gone.
Well, I think Lott made a mistake. All the backs went to the left, and Lott was trying to fake to the fullback, and I think he was the one that went the wrong way, but yet he came up with a first down.
That's the value of a guy like a Lott. He's big enough and strong enough and can improvise enough to take a broken play and make something out of it.
Well, he's the fourth runner in that backfield, unquestionably, and he can really turn it on. Now, there was a classical example of it.
Oklahoma now with a first down at their own 49-yard line, 12 minutes and 47 seconds to play in the first quarter, and the Sooners operating behind an unbalanced offensive line out of the wishbone. Rhodes is wide to the left side. And Lott gives it to the second man through. Billy Sims, number 20, the sophomore out of Hooks, Texas, and he slashes over the left side for yardage. Moves into Ohio State territory just inside the 45.
Would you believe he has 11-yard average in the first 2 games, having carried 15 times for 165 yards, and he can really accelerate.
There is a debate as to which backfield is the swiftest on the field today. Second down and 4 yards to go for a first down. Lott goes down the line with it. Delivers it outside. Beautiful play to Peacock. Peacock down the sideline, stepped out of bounds at the 33-yard line. First down, Oklahoma.
Exceptionally well executed. And that's what that triple option's all about. They read the first man to really finesse him, and then they option the next, and they throw the ball around, but they're executing well on this drive.
Now here's Bill Fleming.
Well, we have a score here, Keith. It's quite a surprise. 28-0 with Pitt over Temple in the second quarter. But how about this? Army is leading Boston College 24-0, and Army plays Colorado next week. Could be undefeated.
Lehman Hall. Oklahoma drops the ball. It's picked up by Peacock, and he's in the open. He dribbled it through the offensive and defensive line area and takes it into the end zone for a touchdown. Oklahoma put the ball on the ground. Elvis Peacock dribbled it through the trench area, picked it up, and it goes 23 yards for the touchdown. Now, he picked it up right about 10 yards beyond the snap area and took it on in.
It looked like Ohio State was scrambling for the ball. Someone must have kicked it because it advanced forward where Peacock picked it up. It looked like Ohio State had actually recovered the ball.
And so Oklahoma is on top, almost losing the ball on the fumble, dribbled it around, and Peacock picked it up and took it in. And Uwe von Schumann for the extra point. It is good. Well, it's almost a state of shock on the Ohio State side of the field as Oklahoma leads it 7-0. Here is another look at one of the more unusual touchdowns of this season. Now watch Paul Ross, number 16, come in trying to get the loose football as it squirted out away from Kenny King. Now the kick there from Ross, 16. See the ball bounce up in the air. There's Peacock, number 4. He's run by the ball. Then suddenly he sees it, flips it with his hand. Now the ball and Peacock are gone. He dribbles it on down through the secondary, picked it up and scored. And Oklahoma leads 7-0. And the Sooners kick off deep to Ray Griffin, who will down it and bring it back to the 20. Here's another look.
Here's another shot of it. There, Peacock has it. Now it hits off of his chest, bounces to the ground, and you say the football takes crazy bounces? Now he reaches for the ball as he's falling, really running forward, comes right back up to him, grabs it, and how'd you like to be a football? That's why I'm not coaching.
Goodness sake. But they never did ask how. They just say how many when it's all over. And Ohio State is down by 7. And they send it up the middle. The ball is loose. Oklahoma gets the football. Rod Gerald going down the line, faked into the middle. Went to the corner, tried to hand it off, and George Cumbie, who played fullback a year ago, is there to get it. The ball was knocked loose from him by Darrell Hunt, number 85, and Cumbie now, 28, comes in, sees it, and covers it. And an Ohio State man is down on the field. It looks like Rod Gerald, who took a wicked hit.
He really did. The ball flew out of there, and it looks like he may have. It looked like he got ribs as a result of that tackle. Maybe his wind is knocked out of him, but I hope he's not too seriously injured. Talk about a turnaround here, Keith, right off the bat. The fumble by Oklahoma that was recovered by Peacock and went for a score. And here they are with field position at the 17-yard line, and this will be no easy chore keeping them out of the end zone from this position.
But right now, the main concern for Ohio State is the eventual condition of number 8, Rod Gerald, their quarterback. Without him, they really suffer, and the man that put him down was Darrell Hunt, the linebacker, as he came in to really rip him and knock the ball loose, the recovery by Cumbie. Here's the first man who comes in and spins away from him, and then Hunt, 85, just really laid it on him. Now watch the pressure coming from the backside, and there's the hit. And so Oklahoma really doing things here in the early going, making a break for themselves here, recovering from a mistake of their own to get the touchdown, and now it's first down inside the Ohio State 17 as Tom Lott options it down the line, turns the corner, and gets to the 14 for 2 yards, maybe 2.5. Dave Atkins and Kelton Dantzler along with Eddie Beeman all out there. And Tom Cousino is shaken up on the play and looks like he'll have to come off the field. Number 36, the fine linebacker for Ohio State.
You talk about things happening rapidly to the Ohio State team. The fumbles, the turnovers, and the Gerald injury, and now Cousino coming out, one of their fine defensive linebackers.
Tom Blinko, a sophomore from Lewiston, New York, number 29, is in at linebacker. Second down and 8 with Rhodes wide to the left, unbalanced to the left. Lott gives it to the second man, Billy Sims, touchdown! From just inside the 15-yard line, Sims, behind the unbalanced line to the left side, had a big gaping hole, and he blew it in. And Oklahoma trying to blow it open right here in the early going.
Well, that's some kind of start. It's going to be tough for Ohio State to come back from this deficit. 14 points early in the first quarter.
11 minutes and 5 seconds to play in the first quarter. And the Sooners now trying for their 14th point as Uwe von Schumann lines up to hit it. Drills it. Well, how do you do? 11:05 to go, first quarter. The Oklahoma Sooners lead Ohio State 14-0.
This OU Classic moment is brought to you by Bob Moore Auto Group.
I used to kid him. I said, if it needed to go 55 yards, 60 yards, it might have gone that far, and it was a good kick. And it may be the best thing happened to him that they did call timeout and let him relax just a little bit and get his mind on it, and, and lead the cheer and show that, hey, I've got enough confidence I will do it.
The world-famous monument, the end of the trail, is featured at the National Cowboy in Western Heritage.
The Sooners will be kicking to Ray Griffin in the middle, Jeff Logan and Ron Springs on each side of him. So far, the Ohio State offense has been able to do nothing. They really haven't had a chance. And the kick is deep into the end zone again, and Griffin lets it go. And it is out to the 20-yard line for Ohio State, and here's Billy Sims' 14-yard touchdown run.
Second back, the fake to the fullback. The second back through, they were on an unbalanced line, and you can see that the end came upfield to take the quarterback. And Sims, look at that running. Boy, that you talk about effort and extension. There was a great piece of running right there by Sims.
Now, Tom Cousino, the linebacker for Ohio State, has been taken from the field of play. There, just a moment ago, he was taken into the locker room. And with Ray Griffin playing offense today, then Cousino becomes sort of the defensive general. Rod Gerald's all right. He's back in at quarterback. Wants to throw. Does. Misses. It is passed complete to Harrell, but he is out of bounds, so it's an incomplete forward pass. Here's Bill Fleming.
A report on Tom Cousino. He possibly has a separated shoulder. They've taken him to the dressing room, and the doctors are going to take a look at him. Even if it isn't separated, the soreness there could possibly keep him out for the rest of the ball game. And as you pointed out, defensively, without Griffin in there, it could be trouble for the Bucks.
James Harrell comes out now at a flanker position, and Herman Jones goes in to replace him, number 49. He's wide to the right side. It is 2nd down and 10. Gerald to throw it again. Going to run it up the middle. And the youngster from Dallas, Texas, runs for about 8 yards before Dave Hudgens and Reggie Mathis bring him down for Oklahoma. So the Sooners really dropped off into that short zone, didn't they?
They did. You know, Keith, I brought a Northwestern football team in here in the early 60s. We fell 14-0 behind the Buckeyes, just like that. A kickoff return, I should say, and also a long drive, and we were behind 14-0, and believe it or not, we won the ball game 18-14. So it's not impossible, certainly for the Buckeyes.
3rd down, and Ohio State needs 2 yards for a 1st down. Gerald trying to get outside, won't do it. That's a great play coming up out of the secondary. George Cumbey, a linebacker. He dropped into the short zone, saw the play, read it right, and made the stop. And Ohio State's got to kick into the win. Now, on Oklahoma's first touchdown, the official scorer of the ball game credits Lott with no yards rushing, and they give all of that distance to Peacock. Actually, Elvis only ran some 23 yards with the ball, but they give him 33 yards credit, but they give him no rush attempt on the play. I don't know how they're going to reconcile that when they get to the final stats. McKeon to punt, rushes on, he gets it away, it's a decent kick, fair catch is called by Freddie Nixon just outside the 40-yard line. So Oklahoma gets the ball again in very good field position. 35-yard punt, here's Bill.
Keith, we have to apologize to our Boston College viewers today. We got a wrong score on that Army game. It is now 14-14 with minutes to go in the second quarter. We will say this, that Lehman Hall passed for that first Army touchdown, which set a new all-time total offense record, breaking the old mark of Glenn Davis. But it's quite a ball game there between Army and Boston College. 14-14. Back to this one.
Bill Flynn and the Golden Eagle patrons, thank you. I feel a little better after that. First down, Oklahoma. It's Billy Sims carrying the ball, and he slashes through again. He is, Barry Switzer says the kid thinks he can fly, and after having watched him run a little bit here this afternoon, he may.
I should think so. You know, from my own experience as a football coach, I'll guarantee you this. This is a big series of downs for the Ohio State Buckeyes. If they cannot stop the wishbone, cannot stop the Oklahoma running game, it's going to be a long afternoon for them. Let's watch. 3rd
down and 3 yards to go from the 47. 2nd down and, I should say 3. Lott delivers it outside to Sims. Sims has got his first down. He's knocked out of bounds at about the Ohio State 44-yard line. There isn't an Ohio State player on the field today defensively who has ever played against nor even seen the wishbone on a college football field.
They're looking at probably the real masters in the execution of the wishbone. Oklahoma has been enormously successful with the running game, and what they're doing down there is they're just executing beautifully.
And they have another first down at the Ohio State 44. The Sooners lead 14-0 with 8:58 to go in the first quarter, and they're just threatening to blow it open, as I said a while ago. If they go in for another one, look out. They give it to the fullback, Kenny King, the very quick man, while the up man out of the wishbone. He gets about a yard as he runs into Aaron Brown, the middle guard, for Ohio State, number 55.
Well, Keith, you make a very good point. I think it's very difficult for a team if they have not seen the wishbone, have not played against it. I remember back in our first game with Texas, our first contest with them, we didn't do as well as we should have, but we learned a lot from it. I would think that Ohio State, though, has looked at a lot of film and should know quite a bit about this offense.
Unbalanced to the left, wide to the right. Lott keeps it, delivers it back. Billy Sims. Sims is shoved out of bounds. He got about a yard on that carry, so it's going to bring up 3rd down and long for the first time today for Oklahoma. Mike Guess and Lenny Mills knocked him out of bounds.
George Hill, defensive coach of the Bucks, would have been proud, was proud, I'm sure, of the way they came up to support that option play. And if they do that the rest of the afternoon, they're going to be in a lot better shape.
They're playing on artificial surface here at Ohio Stadium, and it is dry. It was covered last night in case of rain, and we apparently had a penalty flag thrown here on the sidelines after the play was done. The conversation goes on the field for determination of that is Gene Calhoun, who has refereed so many big ball games in this part of the country, and the calls against Ohio State, and it might have been a late hit.
I think it's a personal foul, I think. A late hit. Let's take a look. There's a replay of it.
Paul Ross, 16, the defensive end coming across. He may have been the man letting himself go off the field of play to make the hit, and that's exactly right.
Yeah, it's a long way off the sideline. That's right.
First down now, Oklahoma, as they profit from the penalty at the Ohio State 27-yard line. Sooners lead 14-0 first quarter, and it goes to the first man into the middle, Kenny King, and not much there for him. 196-pound junior out of Clarendon, Texas, as he runs into Beeman, Brown, and Cato. Give him 2, make it second down and 8, just short of the 25. Thomas Lott in the offensive huddle. You see him looking to the sidelines. The plays are being signaled in from the sidelines, and of course he has an option to overrule it and call something else, but generally won't. Oklahoma very often goes on a quick count. It goes to Kenny King, and King is to the 25, falls inside the 25, where number 71, Byron Cato, makes the stop for Ohio State, getting some help from a freshman cornerback, number 25, Todd Bell. Time running, you can see 7 minutes and 30 seconds to play in the first quarter, and Oklahoma leading 14-0. So the Buckeye defense backs against the wall.
They're also in field goal position here. It's a 25-yard line. Let's see whether or not they put it up in the air or try to come with the option to the outside.
They are wide to the right and overloaded to the left along the line of scrimmage as Thomas Lott turns it upfield, tumbles down right in the neighborhood of where they need for the first down. He's right near the 27-yard line, might be just a tad short. Mike Guess, a sophomore halfback in the defensive secondary, and Paul Ross, the defensive end who plays to the open side of the field, made the stop, and it's going to be 4th and 1.
You see the acceleration of Lott that time. Looked like the Bucks had pretty good leverage on him, but he accelerated and picked up more yardage there than it looked like he might from the vantage point that we have here.
Uwe von Schaumann is not on the field. They'll go for it on 4th and 1 at the 18-yard line of Ohio State. Leading by 14, they'll gamble. And the quarterback, Bob Gerald, looks to the referee, Gene Calhoun, and says, "My folks can't hear me." Backs away. So Thomas Lott steps away from it.
Going to get a discretionary timeout, and he does not want to make a mistake down here. Now they're winding up the clock. We'll see what Calhoun does, and also what the crowd does.
Cousineau does have a shoulder injury. We don't know how seriously the big linebacker for Ohio State is hurt. 4th down and 1. Second man. He's got the first down. Billy Sims, who has delivered the big play on 3 previous occasions, does it again, and Oklahoma keeps marching.
Ohio State is having a great deal of difficulty stopping the off-tackle play. It's a second back through. They fake to the fullback. Instead of running the true option onto the outside, they block the off-tackle play, give it to Sims going to the left, and, of course, to Peacock going to the right.
Sims, 6 carries, 42 yards of the ball game, and the touchdown. First down at the 13. Lott keeps it, turns it up. And Thomas Lott, strong enough to run through an arm tackle at the line of scrimmage, is finally pulled down by Aaron Brown, and a penalty flag is on the field. The penalty flag was thrown by the line judge on the near side, and it'll back Oklahoma up. So the Sooners make their first mistake. Remember, this is a football team that fumbled 17 times, lost it 12 times, had 2 passes interception for a total of 14 turnovers in their first 2 games, but they have been dynamite today.
How about that first fumble they had?
Oh. That'll back them up 5 for illegal motion, and Kenny King is out. Jimmy Rogers is in, a senior out of Forest City, Arkansas, at fullback. Rhodes is going to come wide to the left this time, and they'll load it up on the right side. Lott. And Tom Lott moving it from the 18 back to about the 15 after the penalty on first down and 15. Gets 3 back.
Defensively, it looks like the Bucks are attempting to force Lott to carry the ball, and they're really in pretty decent position, but Lott is such a strong runner, he's been able to avoid the man that is assigned to him.
Second down 12 from the Ohio State 15, 5:10 to go. First quarter, Sooners lead 14-0. Thomas Lott with it. Delivers it outside to Sims, and this time the Buckeyes defense it very well. Todd Bell, number 25, the freshman coming up, along with Dave Atkins, number 94. And Sims is hobbling. And look at the awesome numbers in this first quarter for Oklahoma. 111 yards to 11 for Ohio State.
A lot of ones up there.
Billy Sims came up out of that stack, wobbling some on his right leg, but he's going to stay in the lineup, having shaken off the pain. It is third down and 12. And Rod Jarrell again steps away from center. Thomas Lott, I keep calling him Roger Jarrell. Thomas Lott, the Oklahoma quarterback, operating down here in the closed end of the stadium, and obviously a very partisan gathering of folks. It is rather difficult to hear, because if they come up to the line of scrimmage, the crowd comes with them. Lott on a reverse road, coming down the sidelines to the 10, and he is caught and dragged down at the 7-yard line. That'll be short of a first down, as Lenny Mills, number 20, was the man that saved the play. He had two blockers in front of him, but Mills penetrated the blocking and got to him.
Looked like he might have leverage on that corner. Looked like he was going to go in for the touchdown, but Mills did do a great job of making the tackle and saving it.
So now it brings up a fourth down, and they need three, a long three. That brings in Uwe von Schumann, who has kicked 3 out of 3 field goals and 10 out of 10 extra points. He's the leading scorer, obviously, for the Sooners with 19, so he's going for his 4th field goal of the season. Got a leg on him, and he's got it. A 28-yard field goal by Uwe von Schumann with 3 minutes and 29 seconds to play in the first quarter. And the Oklahoma Sooners have put points on the board every time they've had the ball. They lead now 17.
Good things are happening.
Good things.
Who listen to him, trying to get information, as Ray Griffin, Jeff Logan, and Ron Springs drop back deep to receive the kickoff from Uwe von Schumann with 3:29 to go. And the Sooners leading 17-0.
Really a surprise thus far.
Griffin will back up in the end zone and will not return it. So von Schumann, with the wind at his back, has put it off the field of play 4 times. Rutgers and Princeton playing in the Ivy League in the second quarter. Connecticut and Yale. Yale beat Brown last week 10-9 in a big ball game in the Ivy. Dartmouth over Holy Cross. Pitt and Temple. Look at Pitt. They're getting their thing together, aren't they?
Well, you know, they were a great defensive ball club, and they probably got the quarterback now.
Clemson leading Georgia Tech, and remember, Clemson beat Georgia last week.
Yeah.
Duke and Virginia in the ACC. Harrell comes wide to the right now, as Ohio State still 11 yards in this first quarter, and they send the up man, Springs, in the middle of the line, and he punches it out close to the 24-yard line for about a 4-yard pickup. Barry Switzer along the sidelines talking to his Sooners. Darrell Hunt, number 85, linebacker for Oklahoma.
Flown with the play. Makes a super tackle. You know, you'd have to guess that Switzer made the right decision in kicking off. Ohio State has started their own 20 now on every occasion.
Gerald gives the ball to Springs, the up back out of the I formation, and he gets 2 yards to about the 27, where it's going to bring up third down and a long 3. Bill?
Keith, just a quick report on halfback Billy Sims, the great sophomore speedster of Oklahoma. He twisted his ankle on the last play, and they're taping his ankle on the far side of the field. It looks like he will get back into action, but maybe not at 100%.
Third down and 3 for Ohio State from their 27. Gerald, outside it goes to Ray Griffin, and Griffin cannot get the first down yardage, as Zach Henderson, number 19, cut him down. So Ohio State comes up empty on that offensive possession, and they'll have to kick into the wind again. And yes, I would say Barry made the right decision in taking the wind.
Yeah, that's Zach Henderson, of course, is an All-American, and he demonstrated there by coming up and making an open field tackle and saving the first down. Ohio State for making the first down, and again kicking into the wind with 1:48 left.
And McKee does not have that long high average. He's been averaging at 35 plus in the first two games. Gets a little better handle on this one. Hangs it up very well. And it takes an Ohio State bounce. It is picked up by a Buckeye. Let's see if they whistle it back here, whether or not an Oklahoma man had touched it. There's a penalty flag down on the field at the 40-yard line. 32 yards on the punt. It hung a long time and came down in a crowd. Did he call a fair catch, sir?
It appeared that he was blocked. One of the Ohio State men were blocked by the Oklahoma man, and it really belongs, the ball would belong now to Oklahoma. There's the rule, if a man is blocked into the receiver, it is not a violation, and I think they will award the ball to Oklahoma.
Incidentally, the man who picks it up and runs for the end zone with it is Doug Porter, the center.
You will see actually the Buckeye, I can't tell who that is, identify it, knocks the Oklahoma blocker into the punt receiver. And the ball should go to Oklahoma. He has to have a fair opportunity to catch the ball.
Looks like Tom Wall coming up the field that knocks the Oklahoma man into Freddie Nixon, the would-be receiver here.
Right, that's exactly right. And it's the proper call.
You will not panic this crowd of officials. They will take their sweet time to make the right decision because all of them have a ton of experience. So the football now is advanced to the Ohio State 45-yard line where Oklahoma once again gets the ball in excellent field position. Well, they've had it on their 30, just inside the 39-yard line, near the 38. They've had it on the 40, and now they've got it on the Ohio State 45. They had it on the Ohio State 16, of course, off of the fumble. And they lead 17-0 with 1 minute and 29 seconds to go in the first quarter. Bill, what you got?
Just a story on the Michigan game in Ann Arbor. The Wolverines are leading Navy 7-0 in the first quarter, but Harlan Huckabee in the first quarter ran 72 yards, fumbled the ball on the 1-yard line. Navy recovered it. Huckabee redeemed himself by coming back and scoring on a 13-yard scamper, but the #1 team in the nation is not overwhelming Navy today.
Navy's got a pretty scrappy little team. First down, Oklahoma at the Ohio State 45. Thomas Lott turns the corner with it and gets 5 yards. Next Monday night on ABC NFL Monday Night Football, the New England Patriots and the Cleveland Browns from Cleveland, Ohio. New England, of course, touted by many as one of the best teams in the NFL this year, won their opening game. The Cleveland Browns surprised everybody with a 13-3 victory over Cincinnati, so it'll be fun to watch. The Browns and the Patriots have at it at 9 Eastern, 8 Central, and 6 Pacific time next Monday night here on ABC. The second man gets the ball. Billy Sims. Sore ankle and oh, he can still fly. And it's first down Oklahoma at the Ohio State 30-yard line.
Double belly play. Lott's getting a heck of a good thing.
Let's take a look here. Aaron Brown is the middle guard. You can see the number 60, and I can't see who the right guard is, driving him clear off the line of scrimmage. That's an example of the kind of blocking that Oklahoma is getting.
Billy Sims now has come out of the lineup, and David Overstreet, a freshman from Big Sandy, Texas, has gone in there. Thomas Lott, the quarterback, number 6, turns up field with it and gets a couple of 3 yards out of the play as Kelton Densler and Dave Atkins made the stop. Kelton Densler, number 32, always plays the short side of the field or toward the sideline when the ball is sitting on the hash mark for Ohio State. Now, this fellow, David Overstreet, is a 196-pounder. And they think a whole lot of him. I asked Barry Switzer yesterday how many walk-ons he had, and he said nobody. All of our players were heavily recruited.
I'm really impressed with that Sims. I hadn't seen much of him. He is a real running back.
Second down and 7 yards to go. And Overstreet gets a taste of what it's like at Ohio Stadium, and the Buckeyes saw him coming, and they deck him for a loss. So the first quarter is over, and Oklahoma leads Ohio State 17-0.
This OU Classic moment is brought to you by Bob Moore Auto Group.
After the ball game, we're all in the dressing room, it's pandemonium. Everybody's crazy. In fact, we got one guy's hyperventilating. He's always had a heart attack and everything. And there's a guy who walks in and tells me, here's the ball. And he'd gone to one of the managers out there and paid the guy $20 for one of the balls. Isn't that neat to have, you know, the ball that Uber, hoped Uber would kick. We weren't positive it was the ball, but it was one of the Ohio State balls.
The world-famous monument, the end of the trail, is featured at the National Cowboy.
In the second quarter of play here in Ohio, Ohio State did not get a single first down in the first quarter. Oklahoma picked up 8 first downs. They have totally dominated it, and they lead by a score of 17-0. Now Oklahoma has the ball, third down, 8 yards to go from the 28-yard line of Ohio State. And Thomas Lott comes this way with it. Inside the 20 and close to a first down. He may very well have it as Mike Guess came up, took the legs from under him, but momentum sails him through the air, and Lott, willing to accept the punishment, gets the first down.
Lott picked up probably 5 yards of the gain there on his own, just by stretching out and just being an outstanding runner.
Bobby Kimball comes in, number 21. He and Steve Rhodes are alternating at that split-end position for Oklahoma. Kimball comes to the sidelines this time. That puts 3 linemen on the left side of the center. Tom Lott comes to the weak side with it, turns it upfield, and Thomas gets 2 yards. Dave Atkins makes the play. Tom Cousino, the leader for the defensive unit for Ohio State, big linebacker, injured a shoulder early in the ball game, and he went right to the locker room. Don't expect we'll see him. Billy Sims has had a sprained ankle, and it's been wrapped. And here's Bill Fleming.
All right, time for a quick score here on a 21-yard field goal by Matt Barr, 3:27 of the first quarter. Penn State is leading Maryland in quite a thriller there at University Park in the second period. And for our New York viewers, we'll be going to that game very shortly.
Second down, 8. Lott gives it. Nope, keeps it. On the triple option, he faked it to both men, slid it down the line, turned the corner to about the 13-yard line. He's a nifty ball handler.
Not only that, he's a nifty runner. You could see there that they had a clean shot at him at the outside. He put a move on, came to the inside, and picked up yardage on his own again.
We got a man down on the field. It looks like Thomas Lott may be down. Time is out. No, it's an Ohio State. Is it Lott? Yes, it is Lott. Time is out on the field. We'll be right back. Thomas Lott was the man down on the field. He, on the injury timeout, has gone off the field. Jay Jimerson, the freshman quarterback, who has played very well in the 2-ball game, saved the Vanderbilt game for Oklahoma. He's in at quarterback. Lott went off on his own power, though. Penalty flags down as Jimerson hands the ball inside to David Overstreet. Overstreet blows it inside the 10, close to the 5, but wait for the penalty because it came from the referee Calhoun, who works on the offensive backfield side, and that usually means illegal procedure or motion.
That's what it was, Keith. It jumped the count just a shade. And Switzer is really high on Jay Jimerson, this freshman quarterback. He can really fly. His statistics in the early going here, he's only played in 2 ball games. He's picked up 131 yards, believe it or not, in 16 carries.
He's the son of Don Jimerson, the assistant athletic director at Oklahoma. Hometowner. Second down, the ball is backed up to the 18-yard line. A third down and 9, let's call it. And Jimerson keeps it himself. He's not that big. He's only 5'10", 170. He runs into a crowd of red shirts led by Danzler and Brown as he gets to about the 15. And it brings up 4th down, and it should bring Uwe von Schumann off the bench with a kicking tee, and there he is, number 10.
Tell you one thing, if Jimerson had pitched that ball out, it was going to be a touchdown. They had a lead blocker out in front of the trailing back.
Thomas Lott, I'll tell you again, did leave the field under his own power. In fact, he ran off the field, so we expect we'll see him again. From the 23-yard line, it's a 33-yard field goal try by von Schumann. Plenty of leg. It goes into the crowd. It is good. He is 5 for 5 in 1977 in field goals. And with 12:58 to go first half, Oklahoma builds its lead over Ohio State to 20-0. Thomas Lott walking around on the sidelines. You can see he's all right. I'm sure we'll see him later. 152 yards for Oklahoma, only 19 for Ohio State. But this time, Ohio State may run it back. Ball is kicked in the air. It goes to Ron Springs at the 6-yard line, and Springs comes back to the 19. Good coverage downfield by Oklahoma. Now, for those of you in the New York area, let's go down to University Park, Pennsylvania. Chris Schenkel, a report on the Maryland-Penn State game that is going on there. And for the rest of you, we'll continue to document what happens here at Ohio Stadium as Oklahoma leads 20-0 with 12:55 to go in the first half. And Ohio State now just short of the 20-yard line, first down. Rod Gerald is the quarterback. Gerald drops to throw, and he throws over the middle, and it is incomplete. The pass intended for James Harrell, and Harrell had gotten behind the Oklahoma defenders.
Well, he had them open, and also they've got the wind, and they know they're behind 20-0. They've got to put it up. They had open receivers.
Ohio State's possession so far in the game, they've started at the 20 in four, the first four times they had the ball, and in this one, and the only instance in which they've been able to run it back, they started at the 19.
Well, they've had tough field position all afternoon.
The Sooners dominating. Second down and 10. Gerald will throw again. At least he's going to try. Uh-oh, look out. Look out. Slides and falls down right about the 29-yard line. He may be just a little bit shy of the first down, depending on where they mark him. But that could be the first down of the ball game for Ohio State.
They need a big play. They need it badly to get back in this football game.
There's a personal foul called against Oklahoma. That will move Ohio State into their best field position of the day.
They all put the ball up in this quarter, I'm sure, even though that Woody does not like to pass the ball. Being behind 20-0, he doesn't have much choice. And particularly with this quarter and one other quarter will be only his advantage with the win.
Jeff Logan is in the backfield with Ron Springs. So Ray Griffin comes off the field as an offensive player, and Jeff Logan goes in at the fullback position, or the man closest to the quarterback out of the eye. Gerald wants to throw it again. He's going to run it. And he, for the first time today, carries Ohio State into Oklahoma territory, moving from the 44-yard line over to the Ohio State 47.
That's what a scrambling quarterback can do for you. Listen to that crowd. They're awake now.
It is the first authority shown by Ohio State in the game. Springs is off the field. Joel Payton, the big freshman fullback from Mentor, Ohio, as he lines him up in a full house tee. And it goes to that big freshman fullback, Payton. And he blows it over the 45 for a first down. Now, Woody Hayes yesterday said this 6'2", 222-pounder had been developing very well for him. He's the closest thing Ohio State has to a hammer in the backfield. And he just moved it there for a first down, and then comes off the field. Out of a full house tee, they go for that first down. Now they'll go back to the I formation with Springs, the deep back. Gerald keeping. And he's inside the 35 to the 34. They'll mark him down short of the 35. Ball is marked at the 35-yard line. Second down. They need two. Payton is back in. Same lineup now with a big fullback in. Full house tee. And it's Payton. And it's Russell. And he's got a first down at the 31-yard line. Now, that's the way you remember Ohio State football, right?
Ohio State is pretty much giving Oklahoma the same thing they did to them, the running quarterback. Gerald has been the highlight of that drive thus far, scrambling on pass attempts and also keeping the ball on the option.
First down, Ohio State at the Oklahoma 31, but the Sooners lead 20-0. 10:40 to go in the first half. Gerald keeping. Pitches. Springs.
He's gone.
He's gone. It is touchdown, Ohio State. And Jimmy Moore made the block that turned him loose on Zach Henderson. So the Ohio State Buckeyes get on the scoreboard. Vlade Yanakiewski will try the extra point out of Jim Harrell's hole. Yanakiewski hits it. Penalty flag down. The kick is good. Looked like Oklahoma might have been offside. Little encroachment by somebody in white along the front line. The kickers in this ball game, Uwe von Schaumann for Oklahoma, Vlade Yanakiewski for Ohio State. Just a couple of good old country boys from the Midwest, right?
A couple of tongue twisters, I'll guarantee you.
The penalty against Oklahoma refused. 10:32 to go first half. Oklahoma leads 20-7.
Advantage Doppler 8.
David Overstreet and Freddie Nixon are the deep men in the end zone for Oklahoma as Ohio State's Tom Orris will kick off. The Buckeyes going 81 yards for the touchdown, a 31-yard run by Ron Springs. They're on the board finally, with our score now 20-7 Oklahoma. Orris should get it out of the field of play as the wind is blowing 10 to 15, 20 miles an hour behind him. Overstreet downs it in the end zone, and Oklahoma will get it first down at the 20, and it's the deepest that Oklahoma has been in possession of the ball in their own territory today.
Well, they've moved the ball very effectively running-wise, but now they've got to start at their own 20-yard line. I don't think they'll put the ball up in the air to protect the lead. On the other hand, Ohio State could use another turnover to get back into the ball game even closer.
Those of you who've been watching the Maryland-Penn State game, we welcome you back to the Oklahoma-Ohio State. To summarize again, Ohio State took it in 81 yards in a drive, capped by a 31-yard run by Ron Springs to get on the board in the game. Oklahoma first down from the 20. Thomas Lott back in the ball game is hit behind the line of scrimmage by Dave Adkins for a yard loss. For those of you who missed what happened here at Ohio Stadium, Ron Springs coming along here. Now watch Rod Gerald come down the line. Moore, number 99, upfield to make a big block. Gerald keeping the ball until the defender had made contact with him, and then Mr. Springs is gone.
It was a perfect execution of the option. Everyone was blocked. Ron Springs got up in the open, and he could really fly.
It is second down, a little more than 10 yards now for Oklahoma from inside the 20. Fumbled! Ohio State got it! So the Buckeyes get a break as Oklahoma fumbles it for the 19th time this season. The last one, Elvis Peacock picked up and took it in for a touchdown, but this one was recovered by Dave Atkins. And Ohio State gets the ball at the 19-yard line.
We get a lot of penetration here. I think it's Aaron Brown right. No, he's knocked into the ball carrier. Actually, Peacock dropped that ball before there was any contact made. Didn't realize it. It looked like it was a contact fumble, but it was not.
So the Sooners turn it over, and Ohio State with a big opportunity. Rod Gerald cuts it upfield. He's got a touchdown from the 19-yard line, and suddenly we've got a ball game.
Wow.
You almost get the feeling, Era, that something happened down on the field to wake up Ohio State.
Well, long drive, a turnover.
Gerald with a tearaway jersey coming to the sidelines. He took it in from 19 yards, and Yanakiewski is in for the extra point try, trying to cut the Sooner lead to 6 points. It's good. And so, here at Ohio Stadium, we have a ball game, the kind of a game we expected we would have between two great football teams. With 9 minutes and 46 seconds to play in the first half. Oklahoma 20, Ohio State 14. Orris will kick it off for the Buckeyes from the 40. And the deep man will be David Overstreet and Freddie Nixon for Oklahoma. Nixon a little bit tender. He had a sore leg, but Freddie looks all right in the movement that we've seen from him. He hasn't had a chance to run today, and I'll guarantee you this is another Sooner that can fly, given just a fair chance. Wind at his back. Orris puts it off the field of play. It'll be Oklahoma first down at their own 20-yard line.
The two touchdowns have been rather exchanges in a way because Ohio State fumbled at their own 16-yard line. Oklahoma took that one in. Oklahoma fumbled at the 19-yard line. Rod Gerald ran that in on individual effort. And with the exception of the other field goal, which was scored at the wind end of the field, everything else has been downwind.
Now the Sooners come up with Thomas Lott at quarterback, Elvis Peacock, Billy Sims, and Kenny King in the backfield. Nope, it is Freddie Nixon lining up at a halfback position. And it is Jay Jefferson fumbling the ball. It is loose, and Ohio State has it at the Oklahoma 20. Paul Ross, number 16, came across the field to make the recovery. Jay Jefferson had come out at quarterback, and he pitched the ball behind the trailing back.
I would say it was judgment on the play. He pitched the ball late while he was being hit, and that caused the fumble.
And Paul Ross and Lenny Mills were both right there. Ross was the man that made the hit, and Mills the man that got the ball. And suddenly, here it is with Ohio State first down at the Oklahoma 20-yard line. Now, here you expect, I suppose, the Sooners to have to gamble on defense. It's a 52 as they line up. Gerald sets to throw the ball. He's got some room. And he's stacked up at the 14 after 6 yards. Good defensive coverage by Oklahoma in the secondary.
Well, Gerald got outside of the contain. He still picked up 5 or 6 yards. They're not squeezing Gerald in, and he's able to scramble out. It really adds a dimension to the entire attack.
He's run 8 times for 53 yards and a touchdown. Herman Jones in at flanker. Ray Griffin, Ron Springs will be the setbacks for Ohio State. Second down 4 from the 14 of Oklahoma. Gerald and Springs bump together, but Springs is able to hang on to the ball and get 2 yards on the play, and Rod Gerald almost got a run over. There's Thomas Lott on the sidelines. He has not been... Well, he did come in for 1 series, and they fumbled the ball away. Then Jefferson came in on this last series, and they again fumbled the ball away. So it is down at the Oklahoma 12-yard line now, and it is third down and 2. Griffin is out, and Paul Campbell is in, number 38. He is a sophomore fullback at 212 pounds. And Ron Springs carries the ball, trying to get to the first down area, but he is going to be at least a yard short.
It was a big gamble on the part of Oklahoma. They did not allow for any pass coverage. The corner man blitz, the safety man was in tight. Had Ohio State been in a passing situation, they would have scored easily. But the gamble paid off for Oklahoma.
All right, the big freshman fullback, Joel Payton, goes in. Jeff Logan goes in. You can expect here on 4th down and 2, the full house backfield. That's what we've got.
Look for a run action pass with Gerald faking.
Nope, they gave it to that big fullback. The freshman fullback goes over the top, and he's close, and I don't know that he made it. Looks to me like the linesman may have marked him just a little bit short. And Oklahoma will have held and take over the football.
I don't think they realized they had a good yard and a half to go for the first down.
Next Saturday, there's regional football. We'll have this game for some of you. Texas A&M playing at Ann Arbor against top-ranked Michigan. It'll feature Big George Woodard, that 272-pounder at fullback for A&M, and of course the fine Michigan team led by Rick Leach. Check your local listings for the time and the game in your area. Well, some of you will be watching Texas A&M and Michigan. So the Sooners hold and take over from just outside their own 10-yard line, and Billy Sims spins it up close to the 15. Penn State leading Maryland 3-0 in the second quarter of play in a big ball game in the eastern part of the country, and we've got another man shaken up on the play. It's another Sooner down on the field. It's Victor Hicks, looks like the tight end, who was involved in the lead blocking on that play.
Psychologically also, I would think that Oklahoma would be concerned. They have fumbled the last 2 opportunities that they've had. They'll be a little more cautious with the option play. And I would say the psychological advantage and the momentum certainly is on the side of the Bucks.
Let's define the backfield now while we have a moment. It's Kenny King, number 30 at fullback. Billy Sims, number 20, is one of the halfbacks. Bobby Kimball, number 21, is the wide receiver. The quarterback is number 15, Jay Jimerson. There are scores from the Ivy League. And Elvis Peacock, number 4, is in the backfield. And here comes Victor Hicks being led off the field, but as you see, walking under his own power. It is pretty easy to get deflated out there today because they are whacking each other around.
Good.
You'll pump up and come back, I'm sure. Second down and short 6. Jimerson gives the ball inside to Kenny King, the fullback, the up man out of the wishbone, and there's just a pile of red to drive him back.
Now, they didn't fool anybody that time. The entire Ohio State team was on the fullback.
Ball is put down at the 16-yard line, where it is third down and a little bit more than 4 yards to go. Boston College moving ahead of Army 28-14 at halftime. And Washington leading Syracuse 14-10, while Clemson is romping on Georgia Tech 17-7. Third down and a long 4. Jimerson, the quarterback. Keeping it. Down he goes. It was Paul Ross, number 16, that made the big defensive play for Ohio State. And Jimerson never really had a chance to exercise the option that time.
Oh, he wisely held onto the ball. Otherwise, it had another turnover down deep in their own territory. But the one thing about it, they're going to have to punt out of their own end zone into the wind. Here's Ross, number 16. Comes right in for the quarterback, collars him and throws him down inside right at the 10-yard line.
Kicking into the wind, Oklahoma's first punt of the ball game.
Wow.
Shaman, who is doing the punting today for the first time, hits a good one, knocks it all the way out to the 49-yard line, where Mike Guess brings it back about a yard. 39 yards into the wind.
Very good into the wind. Excellent punt.
Kentucky leading West Virginia 14-7. West Virginia having had that big win last week over Maryland, and Tennessee over Auburn 12-7 in the second quarter. Wyoming leading Michigan State. That's a bit startling to me.
That's a surprise.
And Florida, another team that's loaded with speed, leading Mississippi State 7-0, and Michigan 14-0 over Navy at halftime. Ohio State now with good field position at the Oklahoma 47-yard line. 5:53 to go in the first half of the game. Fumble by Gerald. Ball loose. Sooners dive. And Ohio State had a man on the bottom who looked like he might have come up with it.
Did he get that back?
I think he did. Yes, he
Well,
did.
He did. It looked like the Oklahoma Sooners had recovered it from up here. Gerald must have snuck that arm in there.
I don't see how, but he did. Looks to me like that ball must have rolled a little or something toward him, because Reggie Kinlaw, who is in at middle guard now, was right there. Almost had it. Losses back to the 49-yard line, where it is second down and a 12 to go as Harrell goes in motion, and Gerald drops the throw. Getting some heat, gets it off, and it is incomplete. Bounces the ball in front of his intended receiver, Ron Springs, and it was Reggie Kinlaw, the middle guard, who had put the heat on him.
Well, he's a great football player, and that's the difference. He was forced to throw the ball and could not scramble out away from Kinlaw.
Gerald 0 for 3 in the ball game so far, but the minute he gets back there, you just can't let him go. You just can't sit there and wait for him to throw it, because he won't always do it.
They can scramble out of trouble, as we have already seen in this second quarter.
So it is third down and 12 from the Oklahoma 49. Sooners are leading 20-14 in the first half, and Gerald rolling around looking for somebody to throw to. No chance at that time, as coming up out of the secondary, the defensive end, Barry Burgett, had dropped off to the wide side of the field. Then he saw the quarterback roll his direction. He came to get him.
Oklahoma went into man-to-man coverage and puts both linebackers and put the pressure on Gerald. He still scrambled out of the contain, but the coverage was good, and he hung on to the ball.
McKee is in the punt now, as Oklahoma sends Zach Henderson, number 19, back there, but the deep man will be Freddie Nixon, number 11. And the wind at McKee's back. He should be able to get a hold of this one all right. It'll go to the end zone. So it'll be Oklahoma's ball, first down at the 20-yard line.
In a state where sports is king, there's only one man.
Officials can't.
First down, Oklahoma at the 20-yard line. 4 minutes and 22 seconds to go in the first half. The Sooners lead by 6 points, and Jay Jimerson is the quarterback. comes up to the 22-yard line, and he is hammered. Number 20, Lenny Mills. 32, Kelton Densler. Here's Bill Fleming.
And a game going on in West Lafayette, Indiana today. Purdue leading Notre Dame 10-0 in the first quarter with 6 minutes and 30 seconds to go. Reggie Arnold caught an 8-yard pass to make the first Purdue score, and then Scott Sovereign kicked the 25-yard field goal. So the Irish, their third straight week on the road, are not having a very good time against the old Spoilermakers.
I would think that young freshman over there, Mr. Herman, liable to give him a whole lot of trouble.
I believe it.
At the 23-yard line, it is 2nd down and 7 for the Sooners. Jimerson turns and gives, and the play comes straight ahead with Peacock, the senior out of Miami, hitting it out across the 25 to the 26, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 4 for Oklahoma.
They'd like to hold right here. The Buckeyes would like to hold. It's 3rd down and short. Force a punt into the wind again. There's 3 minutes and 20 seconds, 19 now, and I think they have 3 timeouts left.
Oklahoma jumping to a 20-0 lead, and looked like they were going to just own Ohio Stadium, but the Buckeyes coming back, exercising opportunity, and back in the ball game, trying to hold the Sooners here on 3rd and 4. Jimerson turns it upfield, and he's got the first down. Good effort by the freshman quarterback.
Boy, that's a big play for the Oklahoma Sooners, I'll guarantee you, because now they can bleed more time off of that clock, and Ohio State probably will not get another chance to offensively unless, of course, there's a turnover.
At the 31-yard line, 1st down Sooners.
I think Barry would like that clock to run off so he can get into the locker room and regroup, because the Sooners have been the ones not to have field position in the second quarter.
You know, we sat for hours trying to analyze and figure out what might happen in this football game. Come out here, put it on the tee, and everything in the world you didn't expect to happen happened.
That's why college football is so unpredictable.
1st down at the 31-yard line.
There's a turnover.
Fumble into the pile of people. Jimmy Rogers, and Ohio State comes up with a football. And so the Sooners turn it over again. Looked like Eddie Beeman might have been the man that covered the ball. Jimmy Rogers trying to take it into the middle. When you're working out of the wishbone offense, it is so explosive and so quick, you magnify the possibility of mistake.
Well, that particular play, Keith, is a second back through, and that isn't nearly as dangerous a play as the quarterback pitching out to the trailing back.
Here's Ohio State back in business at the Oklahoma 33-yard line. Rod Gerald, the quarterback. Turns, keeps.
They only had 10 men on the field.
Second effort up to the 30-yard line. Who only had 10
Ohio
men?
State. I believe there was no split receiver out there.
Middle guard, Reggie Kinlaw. They double team him here, and here you'll see just how effective he is, and strong.
Well,
last week, they were talking about operating on him for torn ligaments. He said, wait, don't do it. It feels better today. I want to play it tomorrow. And here he is playing. And Ron Springs runs up over the top of the stack and gets the ball down near the 28-yard line. So with 1 minute and 45 seconds to play in the first half, Ohio State has the ball, 1st down at the 27. I shouldn't say 1st down. I should say 3rd down at the 27.
They're running a lot of time off that clock, too.
Yeah. 3rd down and a long score for the Buckeyes. Gerald outside to Ray Griffin. Ray Griffin inside the 25. Bill Tabor made the tackle for Oklahoma.
4th down and short. Looks like they got injury.
4th and short. Here comes the full house crowd with 1 minute and 3 to go. Now we've come down to 1 minute. They'll line up in the full house. They put that big freshman fullback Peyton in there. He'll line up with Harrell and Jeff Logan. The old T formation. Gerald coming the other way. Can't do it. Great play by number 26, Barry Burgett, the defensive end. He did not commit. He held his position, and he runs Gerald down for a loss, and the Sooners will take over the ball.
Really don't know if that was a broken play or not. He started to the right, and then for some reason turned back to the left without any blocking whatsoever. I don't think it was a bootleg play. He may have thought that the Sooners were stacked to that side.
They were loaded to that side, and I think he just decided, I'm going to go out here and see what I can do.
Try to scramble out of it.
But fortunately for the Sooners, Burgett had held his position, and he was right there to make the play at the 30.
You got to give credit to the Oklahoma Sooners. On 2 occasions now, they've stopped the Buckeyes on 4th down deep in their own territory.
The last 4 Ohio State possessions, they've recovered a fumble, recovered a fumble, recovered a fumble. So Jay Jemison is in at quarterback, and 36 seconds remaining to play in the absolutely wild first half of football.
It has been.
2nd down and 8. And Jemison gives it inside. And breaking it up over the middle is number 34 for the Oklahoma Sooners, Jimmy Rogers, the young man who let the ball get away a little while ago. He didn't exactly let it get away. It just got away from him. That will be good for a first down for Rogers and for the Sooners. Comes number 94, holding his arm, coming off the field for Ohio State, Dave Atkins. Terry Vogler goes in there, and that'll be the second linebacker in this game to be injured for Ohio State, if he in fact is. Here's Overstreet taking it wide and trying to get to the sidelines, crosses midfield, and gets up to around the Ohio State 49-yard line with 8 seconds to play in the first half, and Oklahoma leading in the game 20-14.
Back up, man. Back up.
Well, I think they'll be happy to just run the clock out here, although they've moved the ball effectively on this drive. I was kind of impressed with the Oklahoma defense that last 2 series, Keith. I really mean it, because they were really hard-pressed. They had been scored on twice, and on 4th down on 2 occasions, they were able to stop the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Jay Jemison is doing the quarterbacking, hands it to the up man, Jimmy Rogers, out of the wishbone, and the fullback at about half a yard as time expires. And the score at the end of the first half of play here at Ohio Stadium in the first meeting ever between Oklahoma and Ohio State. The Sooners 20 and the Buckeyes 14. Here's Bill Fleming.
Coach of the Oklahoma team, Coach, I don't know. We thought we had an exciting game last week. I think this may surpass it. You know, early in the going, your offensive line just blew the Buckeyes out of there. Did you anticipate?
We played well the first quarter. We thought we could move the football, and in the second quarter, they got the win, and it seemed they have a good quarter. We had poor field position. We made mistakes, and we swapped out in fumbles. We got a cheap one, and then we gave them a cheap one. I think we can play better. We're certainly going to have to play better, but we got a lot of people hurt right now.
Who is hurt?
Lots out. I've got to go with the freshman right now. I've got to go with the freshman halfback. Sims got a sprained ankle. Kenny King is fullback. Has got a bruised elbow. So
Lott will not be back.
I don't doubt it. I doubt it.
Okay, Barry. Thanks for joining us. Head coach Barry Switzer, who's going to the locker room right now, and his team is out in front of this one, but it's a thriller, 20-14. We'll be back with the Fireman's Fund and more halftime after this.
This OU Classic Moment is brought to you by Bob Moore Auto Group.
I never hear the crowd, so, but in this instance, I did, and they were yelling, block that kick. So, I don't know why I did it. It was just one of those spontaneous reactions. I just let him chant. The Ohio State kick is the one Sooner fans remember. Of course, my holder calls it the hold, not the kick. You know, Brad Hebert, who's the holder. Yeah, he refers to it as the hold.
Watch a settlement turn into a city in Prosperity Junction at the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum.
Well, this is what has happened in the first half of this football game. Oklahoma jumping out to a 7-0 lead. Elvis Peacock picking up a loose football and running it in for the touchdown, the kick good. Then Billy Sims made it 14-0 on a great 14-yard run. 17-0 as Uwe von Schumann kicked a 28-yard field goal in the first quarter. In the second quarter, the Sooners leading 20-0 off a 33-yard field goal by von Schumann. Ohio State got back into the act when Ron Springs bolted 31 yards to cap an 81-yard drive, and then Gerald ran it. Well, this is what has happened in the first half of this football game. Oklahoma jumping out to a 7-0 lead. Elvis Peacock picking up a loose football and running it in for the touchdown, the kick good. Then Billy Sims made it 14-0 on a great 14-yard run. 17-0 as Uwe von Schumann kicked a 28-yard field goal in the first quarter. In the second quarter, the Sooners leading 20-0 off a 33-yard field goal by Von Schumann. Ohio State got back into the act when Ron Springs bolted 31 yards to cap an 81-yard drive, and then Gerald ran it in from 19 to make the halftime score. Oklahoma 20, Ohio State 14. Halftime now with Bill Fleming.
Now the Buckeye battle cry being sung by the members of the Ohio State Marching Band. A great honor coming to Lenny Orban of Macedonia, Ohio, the single man there, the daughter of the eye. Out come the Cats. Boy, what a ball game we've seen here in the first 30 minutes. Oklahoma jumped off to a 20-0 lead. The Buckeyes came storming back, and they now trail by only 6. All right, let's go back upstairs now and join Keith Jackson and Ara Parsekian.
All right, Bill, thank you very much. And here at halftime, with a 20-14 ball game, it was all Oklahoma in the first quarter. Ohio State righted themselves and came back to play well in the second quarter. I think the story of this ball game, however, may very well swing on opportunism. For example, watch here. The ball is loose. Paul Ross, defensive end for Ohio State, kicked it. Then it bounced up to Elvis Peacock. He dribbled it, then picked it up and ran it in for the touchdown. The kick after was good, and Oklahoma had moved out on top by a score of 7-0. And that, I think, is the classic example of exercising opportunity. But it's also important, Dara, that Thomas Lott, now Barry Switzer said he didn't think he would play anymore today, and Billy Sims has a sore ankle, and Kenny King has a sore arm.
Well, they have an injury problem, both on offense and defense, but when you lose people like Sims and King and Lott, of course, it can influence the second half. Jimison, who Switzer is very high on him, is going to probably have to take the load the second half here.
Man who will put it in the air, generally speaking, would be Dean Blevins. We have not seen him. I want to make this point, though, about injuries. So far this season, and these are just some of the obvious people who are playing at the quarterback position, there was Matt Cavanaugh, who was hurt. Danny Davis of Houston was hurt. Sorley and Garcia of Nebraska both hurt. Jeff Rutledge of Alabama, a lot of Oklahoma now. Both of Iowa's quarterbacks were hurt in their game last week. Mark Mangus of Maryland has been hurt, and so has Pete Woods of Missouri, and there must be some more by this time.
Well, when you run an offense where you have option football, I'll guarantee you the quarterback is going to be taking more punishment than he would if you're using a conventional handoff and pocket passing type of attack. But the nature of college football today is option football. And as a result, we're getting a lot of quarterbacks nicked up.
Also playing on the artificial surface where they're getting that excellent traction where velocity becomes a factor as well.
There's no question that the carpets today allow for tremendous speeds and impacts, and as a result, the collisions are a lot greater than they would be on a regular grass surface.
So now, let's look here at the other quarterback in today's ball game. Rod Gerald had a quiet first quarter with that belonging to Thomas Lott and his troops, but here Rod Gerald from the 19-yard line, turns it upfield, runs through an arm tackle there, another arm tackle there, and then suddenly the youngster out of South Oak Cliff High School in Dallas, Texas is gone as he drags a couple of white shirts into the end zone for the touchdown. And that, of course, was a big, big play. It was the second touchdown for Ohio State in the ball game, and in the second half, I would think that both teams are going to have to rely on some opportunism in order to pull themselves ahead in this game. We'll be back with the second half in just a moment.
Think about it. Casinos, dancing girls, swimming.
State here at halftime with 88,119 people looking on. It misses by 131 of equaling the all-time record crowd, which gathered here to watch the Michigan game last year. So the third largest crowd in Ohio State University history is here today. The halftime statistics, and as you would expect, the edge goes to Oklahoma. Ara Parsekian.
Yeah, the dominance, of course, is in the running game, and the possession time evened up some in the second half when Ohio State had the win, but the damage was done in the first quarter. You've got to be kind of pleased with the way Ohio State has come back because they've changed the complexion of the game.
All right, here's Bill Fleming with Woody Hayes.
Okay, I have Woody here just for just a second. Woody, how do you see the second half?
Of football to be played yet, that's all.
There's an honest statement. Woody anxious to get his team back on the field, trailing by 6, but at least we got a couple words. Back upstairs.
You better get out of that crowd, too. The way they're stomping around down there, you might get hurt, Bill. Some big folks in that bunch, aren't there?
You know, look at him jumping up and down in there with him. He's something, I'll tell you. 27 years out there, and he's just as eager today as he was when he first started to coach.
You had an opinion, I believe, Ara, relative to the 20-0 lead that Oklahoma ran up.
I really did. You know, from my own coaching experience, I know the teams have breaking points where they yield after they're behind X number of points, whether it's 7 or 14 or 20. Here's this Ohio State team behind 20-0, very easily could have reached their breaking point. They came back in the second quarter, scored 14 points, and had opportunities in addition to that. Made it a real football game, and as a former football coach, I've got to say some complimentary things about the Buckeyes in regard to that. They're real competitors.
David Overstreet, Freddie Lynn, 11-22 deep for Oklahoma. Tom Ores will kick it off. Freddie Nixon is the swiftest of the two. And they kick it. It goes to Nixon at the 3. And they get him at the 22. Look for a moment. He might have a little crack.
Dead.
But they get him at about the 22. The Sooners open with Jay Jimmerson at quarterback, Elvis Peacock, Billy Sims, Kenny King, and Steve Rhodes will be the wide receiver, alternating with Bobby Kimball. Offensive line, Balder Schuyler, Melendez, Tabor, Roberts, Clappin, and Hicks up front. So here comes Oklahoma now with a 20-14 lead. They are going into the wind in the third quarter. They will have the wind to their backs in the fourth quarter. And the wind has obviously helped each team as they have switched into the field. Jimmerson going down the line with the ball. And he fumbles, and a red shirt was after it, and Ohio State gets it. Kelton Densler knocked the ball loose, and Lenny Mills, it looked like, got over there to cover it, and there's the first break of the second half.
Incredible. Again, this is what we talked about at the top of this show before the game started. Turnovers were key. Here's Jimmerson probably using bad judgment as he's falling here. Well, I guess he did not try to pitch the ball out.
Just knocked it loose. Densler just stripped it.
He actually fumbled the ball as a result of the tackle.
At the 23-yard line, first down, Ohio State. Oklahoma's 23. Rod Gerald delivers it outside. And it is Ron Springs who is hammered by Terry Peters, but spins away from him and gets back inside and turned a big loss into a almost no loss at all.
Even though the execution of the Ohio State team was good, the defense by Oklahoma was excellent. Good coverage on the option.
Gerald, Griffin, Logan, Harrell, and they alternate them now as Logan comes out. And
we're going to the air, Keith.
Ray Griffin is in at tailback. The offensive front you saw. Gerald to throw it. Down he goes, and he's way back upfield, all the way at the 38-yard line, and it was Dave Hudgens, the defensive tackle, that did the job for the Sooners. Back at the 38, as Reggie Mathis is the defensive end. Hudgens, the man who just made that play. Richard Murray alternating at the middle guard. Phil Tabor, Barry Burgett, and George Cumbie, a linebacker, along with Darrell Hunt.
Big play for the Sooners, took them out of field goal range. And Gerald actually was falling backwards, losing yardage in the process.
Ball is all the way back near the 38-yard line. They would have to go to the Oklahoma 13 to get a first down. So the Sooner defense doing its job so far. Gerald goes down the line, steps back to throw. He throws it for Harrell. He threw it too long. He had James Harrell breaking downfield. Harrell was working against Sherwood Taylor, number 31. And the ball was overthrown. Darrell Ray, number 3, cornerback for Oklahoma. Terry Peters, number 16. Bud Hebert, number 33. And Zach Henderson, number 19. So now with the wind at his back, Vlade Anakievsky brings a kicking tee onto the field. He will try it from the 44-yard line. It is a 54-yard try. He just missed last week from 55. He had one blocked at 52. The ball is down cleanly, and it's a bad kick. No chance on it. It was just a bad kick.
That's the third time that Ohio State has had opportunities after fumbles, and Oklahoma has risen to the occasion.
And so with 13 minutes and 14 seconds to play in the third quarter, Oklahoma gets the ball back at their 20.
Now, Keith, it's a little bit like missing that 3-foot putt, and you 3-putt a couple of greens. That's the way I feel about the Oklahoma team. Now they're down there. They think they're going to fumble every ball, and doggone near have the last few series.
Well, this is the kind of thing that UCLA did. They had opportunities. 3 times Houston turned them away deep in Houston territory with nothing, and now Oklahoma is beginning to turn Ohio State away with nothing. As the play goes with David Overstreet running at halfback. Remember, Billy Sims had a sprained ankle in the first half. Kenny King has a sore arm. And we saw Jimmy Rogers start to play quite a bit at the close of the first half. Barry Switzer still has Elvis Peacock out there, and Thomas Lott was shaken up and probably will not play anymore. We don't know for sure, but right now it's Jay Jimerson who's doing the quarterbacking for Oklahoma. He's the 5'10", 170-pound freshman. There is Sims walking on the sidelines. You can see how gingerly he's walking, so obviously the ankle is very sore. They are strong to the right side on 2nd down and 7. Jimerson mixed up in the backfield. Aaron Brown, number 55, firing out of the middle guard position, was right there. So have a look at Mr. Brown doing his thing.
Aaron Brown, number 55, the nose man. As a matter of fact, Jimerson went the wrong way. He runs around the center's head, but by the time he gets in deep, the quarterback has actually gone the wrong way. He made a mistake. The backs were all right, and Jimerson was wrong, and Aaron Brown was there to make the play.
They lost 4 yards. It'll be 3rd down and 14 from the Oklahoma 14. Quick kick. Peacock hits it into the wind. It is a bounce to the sidelines and out of bounds. So not a bad strategy. With the wind at your back particularly, it can be effective for you. The ball is out of bounds at the Oklahoma 48-yard line.
This OU Classic moment is brought to you by Bob Moore Auto Group.
They say that, well, you know, the reason he didn't feel any pressure because he didn't know any different. So, but it was just, you know, it was fun watching the game because the game was such a great game, back and forth, and of course we had great players. We had the Heisman Trophy winner, we had an Outland Trophy winner playing in it, we had several All-Americans. That was a great team. That team should have won the national championship.
A lot of loving care goes into the making of Bedray chocolates here in Pauls Valley. It's the same care we take.
All right, here's Ohio State at the 48-yard line of Oklahoma. 1st down. Gerald gives it to Ron Springs. Springs hit behind the line of scrimmage by Darrell Hunt, but Hunt couldn't lock him down, and he gets it to about the 46 for 2 yards.
Hunt got a lot of penetration. Apparently fired the seam. He's 6'3" and about 218. If you'll watch here, look at Hunt goes right now. Puts a pretty good lick on him right there, but doesn't wrap him up with his arms.
And it'll be 2nd down and 8 for Ohio State at the Oklahoma 46 with Herman Jones and James Harrell. 2 wide men, both in the lineup. One of them's a wide receiver, split in. The other's in the flanker position, and Gerald roughs back to throw it. He has room on the sidelines. He has a man open over there, and that should get a flag. And it does. The penalty flag is thrown against Darrell Ray. Bill Jaco was downfield. William Jaco, the tight end down there, and Ray bumps into him before the ball got there, and Ohio State has a 1st down.
Here's another look at it. Gerald fakes to the fullback, comes out to the right, throws the ball. He's got him open. You can see the contact made by Darrell Ray, and it is definitely interference. It was a good call.
1st down, Ohio State at the Oklahoma 16-yard line. The Sooners are leading by 6 points, 20-14. They own the 1st quarter. Ohio State came back in the 2nd quarter. And the Bucks are threatening right here. Let's see if the Sooner defense is equal to this challenge as Gerald hands it off inside to Ron Springs, that time coming from the fullback position. Working out of the I formation, Woody Hayes is shuttling his backs in and out, and sometimes they're fullbacks and sometimes they're tailbacks.
It looks like he might want to go back to that power football, putting in the tight ends, and he might try to muscle it in from here.
Barwig, number 82, is in the lineup now, replacing Greg Storer, who's come out. It is 2nd down. The ball is sitting at the 13, 2nd down and 7. They right end, Jaco, I believe it is, moved on the play, and that'll get 5 yards illegal procedure against Ohio State.
He's on his way back. Yeah.
No, he's going to call it the other way.
Yeah, well, he was on his way back, and the reactions of the Oklahoma Ball Club came after the fact.
But had he gone into a set position, or was he still in a flex posture?
He was moving. He was on his way back to the line of scrimmage.
So it's called against the Sooners. And so 2 penalties now in this possession for Ohio State by Oklahoma has put the football at the 9-yard line of the Sooners, where it is 2nd down and 7. Instead of being long for Ohio State, it is short at 2nd down. Gerald gives it to Big Joel Payton, the freshman, number 30. He dives for it, and he's close to it.
Interestingly enough, Woody calls that formation when he puts all the backs in there, he calls it robust. They go to robust formation. And that's what it is. They're going to run the ball.
It is 3rd down. They need a yard, maybe a little less than a yard.
That's where it gets tough, down inside that 10-yard line.
Ricardo Valle is in for the first time. Bit of a mix-up in the backfield, but it didn't bother anything as Logan and Valle got tangled up. The play went away from them to the right side, and the play is good for the first down, reaching right around the Oklahoma 5-yard line.
Tell you what, Oklahoma is committing all 11 men to the run. They are playing the percentages that Coach Hayes is a running coach, and he's down inside that 5 with a first down, and they've got everybody up on the line of scrimmage.
On first down and goal to go for Ohio State at the Oklahoma 5. All the white shirts are up. Well, Zach Henderson drops off in the middle now. Full house backfield. Goes to the big guy. And Joel Payton is just short of the goal line. Well, Woody's right. He is a tough fellow. Logan got tangled up with he and Valle there, and Logan has come off the field. Looked like he may have re-injured that very sore right ankle and knee. Here goes Ricardo Valle back into the lineup now, replacing Joel Payton as Woody Hayes shuffles him, and there you see the goal line and the football. It's marked just inside the 1, 2nd down, goal to go. It's Valle, and he is stopped short as the linebackers right behind the defensive front just stood up in there and stacked it. And in particular, the big guys up front that worked on that were Reggie Kinlaw and Phil Tabor. Tabor weighs 251, Kinlaw 230. Here comes Payton back onto the field.
He's our biggest back. But the Sooners are burying down in there. They're tough to move out of there. They only need about a length of a ball.
Woody now has Valle and Payton both in there, 2 fullbacks. 3rd down and goal from a foot away. It is Payton. Touchdown. The touchdown behind Mark Lang, the left guard. Vlade Anakievsky in, trying to put Ohio State ahead for the first time today. It's good. With 8 minutes and 4 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter, Ohio State gets the lead over Oklahoma 21-20. Ohio State moving 48 yards in 7 plays. The last 6 times the Buckeyes have possessed the ball, they have had it in Oklahoma territory. Rain, quite a bit of it, is falling now, as David Overstreet and Freddie Nixon are deep for the Sooners, with Tom Orris ready to kick off. High kick, and Nixon will let it go. So Oklahoma will get it again. First down at the 20. And ABC's Wide World of Sports today features the Michigan 150, along with the Sugar Ray Leonard and Frank Santori fight, from the Washington-Baltimore area, which will be blacked out. You will not see the fight there. The Michigan 150 USAC Championship cars, one of the fastest tracks anywhere, and also Pele, the man in his career, at 5 Eastern and Pacific, 4 Central Time. And Dean Blevins is now in at quarterback for Oklahoma. Dean Blevins, number 2, making his first appearance of the day, and he is considered the best passer of the 3 Oklahoma quarterbacks. Thomas Lott was hurt in that first half and not expected to play. Jay Jimerson took a good deal of punishment himself, including a couple of fumbles here, and one of them here in this second half. And now, here is Dean Blevins, with Ohio State getting the lead, 21-20. Oklahoma going into the wind and into the rain. And Blevins gives to Overstreet, and Overstreet is decked right at the line of scrimmage by Tom Blinko in replacing Tom Cousino, who was hurt for Ohio State. Here's Bill Fleming.
All right, Keith, in the second period at West Lafayette, Notre Dame has scored. It's now 10-7. Gary Forsteck, incidentally, started at quarterback today, but he was taken out of the lineup with an injury. And Rusty Lish came in to throw the touchdown pass to Terry Urick. So the Irish are coming back.
It's second down and 10. Oklahoma at the 20. Blevins fakes it and keeps it. Comes up the line and gets maybe 3 yards before he is put down, and that fellow Paul Ross, number 16, is right there again, getting help from Dave Adkins. Ross has had 3 big plays in this ball game.
Looks like the Buckeyes are settling down and feeling comfortable in handling the option, and I think that the Sooners probably should be patient. They're only 1 point behind, and they don't want any crucial turnovers here that would put them 8 points behind. They'll get the win in the 4th period.
They put King, the fullback, in motion. Blevins rolls to throw. Throws for Rhodes, intercepted. There's the turnover. It's intercepted by Kelton Densler, a defensive end who dropped off to actually play a linebacker position in the short zone, and there's the turnover.
Well, I guess I was wrong. There goes the fullback in motion away from where he wants to throw the ball. I thought they'd be a little bit more patient. Great interception. And the Buckeyes have the ball in great field position again.
It was a very good defensive read by Mr. Densler to make the play.
Dropped off. Well, the receiver slips and falls. Rhodes does, but he never would have gotten the ball anyway.
No.
He's never gotten whether he was standing up or not.
Into the middle of the line goes Ron Springs, a big junior who calls Williamsburg, Virginia, home. And he moves it from the 33-yard line inside the 30 to the 27. Now, Oklahoma brought 1 pair of shoes with them, I do believe, and they are a type that has sort of a square plug in their rubber. And the question is whether or not it will mean the Sooners might be slipping a little bit as the rain continues to fall. We'll see. Second down, 3. Gerald turns it. Gerald has a first down right around the Oklahoma 22-yard line. There's more scores out of the Ivy League as Massachusetts is leading Harvard 7-0 in the 3rd quarter. That's a bit of a surprise, and Yale running away to hide with it. Richard Murray playing the nose guard for Oklahoma now as Kinlaw is off there. Herman Jones comes out at a wide position for Ohio State. And James Harrell should be back in there, number 11. Columbia and Lafayette. Oh, goodness sakes,
wow.
Look at that. Pitt 76, Temple nothing. First down at the 22 of Oklahoma. Rod Gerald keeps it, and goes down right about the line of scrimmage as Barry Burgett, number 26, came across the field, put him down, and looks like Gerald might be shaken on the play.
Yeah.
He was sort of twisted down and went down under Burgett and under Zach Henderson.
There's a replay on it. Let's see if we can tell what happens here. It goes right across the face. Oh, he puts a pretty good twist on the neck. Let's see how he falls here. Well, it appears that he gave him a pretty good twist of the neck.
5:27 to go, 3rd quarter, 21-20 Ohio State.
In a state where sports is king. Your weather information 9 times faster than anyone. It takes...
In at quarterback for Ohio State. He's not the runner that Gerald is, and they will alternate and change their attack a little bit with him in there, but this time they give it to Jeff Logan, and Logan punches that ball for good yardage, taking it down to the 16-yard line, so that's about 7 yards for Jeff on it. It's third down, and it's a long 3. They've got to go, that's more like 4. Third down and 4 yards as Springs comes out now, and Payton goes in at the fullback position for Ohio State. They line up in that full house T formation. Castagnola to throw over the middle. Touchdown! Look what I found catch by Jimmy Moore. The ball bounced off the hands of Bud Hebert right into Moore's hands, and Ohio State has scored. Well, like I said, opportunism.
There was a great effort on the Moore's part because the ball was deflected, and he showed great hands.
Manakiewski. It's good. And Ohio State's lead now with 4 minutes and 44 seconds to go in the third quarter is 8 points. 28-20. The ball ricochets off the hands of Bud Hebert into the hands of Jimmy Moore.
Watch Castagnola here, fakes the ball to the fullback, steps back for the throw. The ball is deflected by Hebert, and you'll watch how low the ball is when Moore gets it. The ball is falling to the turf, it grabs it just off the ground, and it's a touchdown. Good hands.
The Buckeyes now build it to an 8-point lead. Oklahoma ran out to a 20-0 lead. Now the Ohio State has scored 28 unanswered points.
Great comeback on the part of the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Freddie Nixon and David Overstreet are the deep men. Orris sails it through the end zone. It'll be first down Oklahoma at the 20. Last year against another powerhouse of a Big 8 team, Ohio State fell behind, I believe, 10-0, and then came storming back to beat Colorado in the Orange Bowl 27-10. And they have come back today against the Oklahoma Sooners. Oklahoma here in this third quarter, they've had the football at the 22, the 20, the 20, and the 20, and they have made mistakes with it.
Well, they've also missed, I think, Sims and King, and of course Tommy Lott. They were really moving the ball in the first quarter. And again, they're still fighting the wind, which is a factor. Billy
Sims is back in, sore ankle and all. They need him. He wants to go. Here comes Blevins down the line to Peacock. And Peacock is hit by Kelton Densler at the 22-yard line. Densler is playing a big football game defensively for Ohio State.
Ohio State has smoothed out all of their defensive problems in handling the triple option and has reacted exceptionally well, particularly in this quarter. From the middle of the second quarter on until this time, they've done a good job.
It's still misting rain just a little bit, but it did rain enough to get things pretty wet down on the field. Second down, call it a long 7, just outside the 22 for the Sooners. Blevins gives to Sims. And Sims is at the 24. That'll be all. So it is third and long coming for Oklahoma. Here's...
All right, Keith, and quite a ball game today, too, with 11 minutes and 44 seconds to go in this one. It is, we've got it wrong on the screen. It's Boston College 35 and Army 28. Now, Michigan has just beaten Navy by the score of 14-7, so I would say that the midshipmen put on quite a performance today, Keith.
Indeed. It is third and long. They send King in motion. They pitch it wide to Peacock. He's got King in front of him. He turns the corner. He's got a first down for the Sooners out of the 32-yard line. Aaron Brown on the tackle. And that big fullback laid a block on that red shirt over there to get Peacock into first down territory.
They needed that first down. They've had trouble moving out of their own territory here, but I'll tell you, I'm amazed. They keep throwing that ball around like it was a hot potato.
That's the first down of the second half for Oklahoma. 28-20, Ohio State leads, 3:15 to go in the third period. From the 31-yard line, Blevins stands to throw, whips it to Rhodes. Steve's got it. And he's got another Oklahoma first down as they go to the air. And number 30, Kenny King, is down behind the line of scrimmage, gets up very slowly. Here's an isolated look at Steve Rhodes.
Rhodes just come right up the field, turns, and the defender, of course, moved up to stop the option, and it was not an option. It was a pass, and a very successful one.
To the 46-yard line for a first down for the Sooners. Blevins still got it. Now pitches it and throws it out of bounds. Intended for Peacock, but Oklahoma will retain possession of the ball as Lenny Mills came up to force the play for Ohio State. Ball is just short of the 49-yard line. Second down, 8 for Oklahoma. Blevins to throw. Lobs it up for grabs. Intercepted by Mike Guess, the cornerback, and the Sooners turn it over again. Aaron Brown penetrated to put the heat on. Blevins threw it up for grabs, and the balloon was picked off by Mike Guess. And Ohio State gets the ball back with 2:39 to play in the third quarter, with the Bucks leading 28-20. There is the story in the ball game, right there.
Sure is, and the last one was really not good judgment.
25-yard line, Ohio State. Ron Springs taking the pitch out from Castagnola at quarterback, gets it up to the 30. And here's another look on the play that Ohio State got the ball as Blevins drops back, and he really just kind of threw it up the ground.
He just threw it up there, and you'll see 4 defenders around him. There's no way, percentage-wise. It's picked off by Guess. And really, he probably should have thrown the ball out of bounds and come up with another down.
The passing story in the game, Oklahoma now 1 for 3 with 2 interceptions for 15 yards. Ohio State 1 for 5 for 16 yards, but at least the Buckeye passers haven't had one intercepted yet. Second down and the 6. And Ron Springs, who will get a lot of work with Castagnola in there as the quarterback, as Woody changes his offensive structure a little bit with Rod Jarrell out of the lineup for the moment. Springs now with 63 yards on 13 carries, and it'll be third down and 2 coming. And George Cumbie looks to be shaken and comes off the field for Oklahoma, with Obi Moore going in to replace him. Oklahoma's got 9 men up on that line. And the struggle for the first down by Joel Payton, number 30. He may be a little bit short. They had 9 white shirts up there.
The
score now from Bill.
All right, a young freshman quarterback by the name of Mark Herman may be making Purdue history today. He has just thrown 2 touchdown passes, one of 37 yards to Ray Smith for the Boilermakers, another one to Russell Pope for 43. So, with 5 minutes and 12 seconds to go in the second period at West Lafayette, the Boilermakers are up on top by the score of 24-14.
And it's a big first down for Ohio State, as Payton got just enough of a football beyond the required distance for the first down, just outside the 35-yard line.
And strategically, Oklahoma's coming into 8- and 9-man fronts, knowing that Woody will try to protect that 8-point lead, and they are vulnerable to the pass in the event that Ohio State elects to do so.
Castagnola will put it up.
There it is.
Swings it out to Ray Griffin. And Griffin gets another first down as he takes it up near midfield to the 49-yard line. An exceptional athlete, this youngster, Ray Griffin.
Imagine that. He moves from the defense over to the offense, can play either way, and is outstanding athletes, both of them.
Oklahoma jumped to a 20-0 lead in the first quarter, early in the second quarter. Now Ohio State has come back to score 28 unanswered points and lead the Sooners by a score of 28-20. First down at their own 49. And Chris Ward, the left tackle for Ohio State, jumps. And that'll cost the Bucks 5.
Let me tell you about that. Chris Ward is really something. I'll guarantee you, I watched him in film yesterday. Of course, he's jumping offside here, but it's one of the rare occasions that he does so. The Ohio State teams do not beat themselves Not very often, anyway, and I watch him in the film, and he just blocked everybody down in the first 2 games.
Ball is moved back to the 44 now. The story in penalties for Oklahoma, they've had 65 yards, and Ohio State 35 yards, and Penn State has moved out to a 20-3 commanding lead over Maryland in the 4th quarter. First down and 15 for Ohio State. Castignola sets to throw it. That's the room to run. And he dives ahead close to the 45 of Oklahoma. So that'll bring up a 2nd down and about 5 yards to go.
Not bad for a little sophomore. Not a bad runner either. This is the thing that Ohio State has been able to do with their passing game. It turns out to be runs when they're really pass attempts, and a scrambling quarterback can really make the difference.
Storer comes off the field for Ohio State now as Barwig and Jaco goes on to the field as we come down to the final seconds of the 3rd quarter, and Ohio State with 15 minutes to play leads Oklahoma 28-20.
This OU Classic moment is brought to you by Bob Moore Auto Group.
It was a great weekend going to Columbus, playing in their great stadium against Woody Hayes was the coach, and Zuva always tells me, he said, Coach, that was the biggest play probably in your career, my kicking the field goal with 6 seconds left to win it. And I said, Uva, if Billy Sims hadn't got hurt in the 1st quarter and Thomas Lott hadn't pulled his hamstring in the 1st quarter, we'd hung a half 100 on them. We wouldn't need that field goal. But we did need it, so I'm glad you hit it.
The world-famous monument, the end of the trail, is featured at the National Cowboy and Western Heritage.
Ohio State. It is 2nd down and about 5 yards to go for Ohio State at the Oklahoma 46. Castignola pitches the ball to Ray Griffin, and Ray Griffin runs it to the 42-yard line. They'll be coming up on a 3rd down and about 2. The final quarter of play. The totals in the game on the yardage situation as far as rushing and passing. It's just almost dead even on rushing, and not that much difference in passing, since passing has been almost negligible in the ball game. But reflecting back to what we saw last week in Lincoln, Nebraska, we had that much. In fact, we had more than that in the first half. 3rd down and a short 2. It is Griffin. He's gone behind the line of scrimmage. Good defensive play by Oklahoma. Sooners gambling that Ohio State won't put it up. And that time they sent 2 men for the ball, got some help from a 3rd. And Barry Burgett, Zach Henderson with Darrell Hunt coming, or Bruce Tayton it is, number 5 in there at defensive end now, replacing Burgett, made the stop. So it'll bring up a 4th down, and the wind is continuing to blow, not perhaps as strongly as it has earlier in the day, and it is punt formation now with Freddie Nixon deep for Oklahoma. McKee will hit it. Snap is on the money, and very little rush. McKee hangs it very well up into the wind. And it hits an Ohio State player and bounces back up the field. So that'll put it, they throw the beanbag down around the 10-yard line. So it's a 33-yard punt, and it puts Oklahoma in pretty deep in the territory. As I'm trying to wait here to see where they mark the ball. As going to bring it up near the 20-yard line, where it bounced out of bounds. New England Patriots and Cleveland Browns. From Cleveland, 9 Eastern, 8 Central, 6 Pacific on ABC's NFL Monday Night Football. This coming Monday, Cleveland, a big winner over Cincinnati in their opener 13-3. The New England Patriots got off to a victorious start in beating Kansas City in their opener. So it'll be 2 good football teams. 2 teams apparently capable of challenging for all in their respective conferences on ABC's NFL Monday Night Football next Monday night on ABC. Now, on the 20-yard line, beanbag went down back on the 10. It hit one of the Ohio State players in the back and stayed in bounds as it dribbled up the sidelines for 10 yards.
I didn't watch the ball at the, what went out of bounds. Is that where they marked it right there?
Yep. Jay Jimerson is in at quarterback now for Oklahoma with David Overstreet, Kenny King, and Elvis Peacock. Peacock has been decently contained so far today by the Ohio State defense. Sims was the big weapon early. Here's Bill Fleming.
All right, with 3 minutes to go in the 4th quarter, Boston College now with a 49-28 lead over Army. It seems that it's been Ken Smith passing for Boston College and Lehman Hall battling this afternoon in a driving rainstorm most of the day. It's kind of surprising to have that many points.
All right, Bill, first down. Oklahoma at their own 20-yard line. And Jimerson gives to King, and King gets through that first wave of defenders, gets out across the 25 to the 26. Paul Ross, number 16, defensively for Ohio State.
He's been a little bit of all over the field. Here he is coming back to the inside after King has given the ball by Jimerson on the inside. Good tackle.
He hit you with some authority, too. You see, King stopped when he wrapped him up. My goodness, he hits hard. 26-yard line, second down, 4 Sooners. They trail by 8. Jimerson, second man. And it is Overstreet, the 196-pound freshman out of Big Sandy, Texas. He gets a yard. They drill him back around the 20, but they'll give the advance at least a yard up around the 28.
If they can, when I say they, the Oklahoma Sooners can avoid a turnover and they don't make a first down, the one advantage is that they'll be able to kick downwind, and Ohio State will have to go a long way. But it's third and short.
Third down at about a yard and a half as they send Rhodes wide to the right side. You have 3 blockers left of the center, 2 blockers right of the center, out of the wishbone. Jimerson keeps. They hit him right at the 30. Now, his second effort may have been just enough. Dave Atkins and Lenny Mills pinched him. They stopped him for a moment. Second effort by Jimerson's going to make it very close.
He looks just short, I think. Well, maybe not. They put it on the line there?
Looks like I can't really see.
Yeah.
The official line judge is standing there.
Looks like maybe he made it by about a quarter of an inch.
It's got to be a first down if it's on the line. Doesn't it?
They didn't mark the ball. No, it's
oh, look at that. Well.
Suppose they shorten that chain?
The length of it.
Well, would you go for it? 8 points. Let's see. How much time? 12:15. I think I'd go for it.
Oh, come on now. I watched you coach a lot of football games. I don't remember you ever going for it on your 30-yard line.
I did.
12:15 to play in a game.
What do you mean? I did that once in 25 years. I don't know, a lot of time to go, but they're 8 points. They need 2 scores.
Well, they're going. Unless they go with a quick kick. Peacock did it earlier.
No, I would think they're going for it. If they wouldn't quick kick here, they'd might as well line up and kick it down the field.
Wishbone is in tight. Quarterback keeps it. Jimerson dives. He's got it. That's a first down for the Oklahoma Sooners as they gamble with 12:15 to go. Oh, look at here.
Wow. That's
Minnesota leading UCLA by 10 points in the third quarter. And Minnesota, the team that was wiped out by these Ohio State Buckeyes last week. That is a surprise, at least to me. First down, Oklahoma at the 31-yard line. Jimerson to King. And King is gang tackled right along the line of scrimmage. Number 71, Byron Cato, and number 16, Paul Ross. Bill?
Keith, just want to update the injury report here for a minute. Tom Cousineau, who was lost for the game early in the first quarter with a shoulder separation, of course, is out. Rod Gerald not only hurt his wrist, but also got a bump on the head. He is out for the rest of the game for Ohio State, and I'll be back in a moment to give the Oklahoma report.
All righty, second down. Call it 9.5. Here's the pitch to Peacock. They get him out one-on-one. He runs fumble. And I think an Oklahoma man recovered it. The ball squirted out of there and came up to about the 37-yard line, and covering the ball was Victor Hicks, number 80.
Now they got it back.
Aaron Brown, the man that knocked it loose for Ohio State. So call it the 36-yard line as the Sooners keep possession.
Here's Aaron Brown, number 55, penetrates, starts to pursue. The ball's on the outside. Peacock has got leverage. He helps on the tackle, and the ball comes out before it hits the ground. There's a recovery by the Oklahoma Sooners.
Gary Dulin, number 60, was the man on the bottom. He might have been the man that knocked it out of there. 36-yard line, third down and 5. Peacock wants to option the ball. Now he's got to run for his life. Loss is back to around the 31-yard line.
He was trying to throw that ball back to Jimerson, the quarterback, on a fake sweep to the right and then throw a pass back to the quarterback, but he got forced, and he could not get the ball back to him.
Fellow that really messed it up was Tom Blenko, number 29, and Aaron Brown, 55. They sealed it off in Alabama, leading Vanderbilt by 10 in the third quarter. It is now 4th and 10 for Oklahoma. They'll have to punt with the wind at their back, and it's Uwe von Schroman to do the punting for the Sooners. He gets it up all right. Mike Guess is going to watch it bounce for a while, and it takes an Ohio State bounce as it comes straight to the sidelines. And with 9 minutes and 45 seconds to play in the ball game, Ohio State 28, Oklahoma 20.
In a state where sports is king's drive.
Reflected from your screen there, as both men realizing the game is still up for grabs with 9:45 to go. Castagnola, the quarterback, with Ron Springs and Ray Griffin out on the field as the setbacks behind Castagnola and Herman Jones at the flanker spot. Ray Griffin playing tailback today. He has not gone both ways in this ball game. The last man to play both ways in the Big Ten Conference was Leroy Keys at Purdue. First down at the 32 for Ohio State. Castagnola keeps it and runs for 9 yards before Oklahoma pulls him down. Richard Murray, the nose guard, leading the tackling, along with Darrell Ray, number 3. That brings up a second down and 1 for Ohio State now. Castagnola, 2 for 14 in rushing and 2 for 2 in passing for 30 yards in the ball game since replacing Rod Gerald. Jeff Logan, 34, on the field now for Ohio State. So is Joel Payton in the short yardage lineup, the full house T. Figures a big freshman fullback, number 30, Payton gets the ball, huh? Yep. It looks like he's got the first down, too, as he punches it out around the 42-yard line. Here's Bill.
Just to complete the Oklahoma injury report, Keith, on that first down of Ohio State, Tom Lott was hurt and did not return in the second half, as the coach Barry Switzer told us at halftime he would. Then, of course, Billy Sims has been in and out. Reggie Kinlaw has been in and out, as has Darrell Hick.
42-yard line. First down, Ohio State. They lead by 8 points, and Ray Griffin has the ball. And Griffin, running out of the tailback position, comes up to the 45 for 3 yards before Darrell Hunt and Phil Tabor make the stop.
Ohio State has had probably 4 or 5 waste-down situations in this game, which means they had second down and short. And they elected to substitute 2 tight ends and full house backfield and go for it rather than use a waste-down opportunity.
The rain has stopped. Temperature comfortable. Field in good shape. Castagnola keeps. Now delivers it outside to Ray Griffin. Griffin breaks the tackle. And he is cut down. But they're going to mark him out of bounds back at the Oklahoma 48-yard line. That will be close to a first down as he just stepped on the sideline as he made his cut down the field. So Ray Griffin beginning to make a move now as he moves into a tailback position. When he came over to Ohio State, of course, he was known then as Archie's brother. And he would have had to play, in fact, was buried his freshman year in the backfield. It was loaded with talent, including Archie Griffin. He moved in to play defense, became an all-conference safety, and many people thought one of the best defensive backs in the country. Now, this year, he has, because of injuries to Jeff Logan, for example, he is an inexperience from the freshman. Woody has moved him back into the offensive backfield.
Keith, if I may clarify what a waste down is, when a team has second down and short yardage, they can waste it down, maybe go for a home run or a big play, and then get their first down on third down rather than on second down. Ohio State has not elected to use that waste down situation on about 4 or 5 occasions. And, of course, it's panned out well for them because they've maintained possession, and they're leading in the game.
And they're just short of having a first down at the Oklahoma 48-yard line. The Sooners jumped to a 20-0 lead. Ohio State got 14 points back in the second quarter, and they have scored 14 points in the third quarter, and they're leading by a score of 28-20. And it is third down and inches for the first down. Full house backfield, and it is Payton, a big freshman fullback, running over people and getting inside the Oklahoma 45 for an Ohio State first down. And this is the kind of football that Woody Hayes dearly loved.
That play was really well blocked. The whole right side of the line opened up a hole. The lead blocker went through and put a block on, and that was an easy first down for him.
Ken Fritz, Joe Robinson, and William Jaco, the big guys up front who did the blocking. Just inside the 45, first down Buckeyes. Kinlaw, the middle guard, leading the defensive charge for Oklahoma as Ohio State sends it over the left guard, Mark Lang. Ron Springs carrying, and he didn't get a whole lot out of it, maybe a yard. Springs now with 14 carries in the game for 65 yards. In the 2 games that Ohio State had played prior to this one, Springs had averaged 27 carries a ball game.
Well, they've interchanged those backs, and the one thing that Woody has done in this ball game, he's substituted very freely.
28-20. Ohio State leading. Castagnola wants to throw it. Better hurry. Caught behind the line of scrimmage by Bruce Tayton, number 5, the defensive end on the short side. Fought his way through the block and stepped in to make the tackle back at the 46-yard line for a 2-yard loss.
Well, they were trying a run action pass. I didn't look down the field to see whether anybody was open, but the pressure was on Castagnola, and he really didn't have an opportunity. He had to scramble out of the pocket before Bruce Tayton got him.
Greg Storer, who was one of the top receivers on this Ohio State team last year, has been in and out, but the ball has not been thrown to him so far today. But he's still a big guy who can catch that football when needed. It is 3rd and 12. And now Castagnola looks around, doesn't like what he sees, looks to the sidelines, and calls time with 6.5 minutes to play in the game. Ohio State 28, Oklahoma 20. 28-20 ball game, and time now becoming the ally of Ohio State with 6.5 minutes to play in the game. It is 3rd down and 12 for the Buckeyes. Castagnola is caught. Fumble! Oklahoma gets it. Kinlaw. Dave Hudgens, number 70, came in there and squeezed the ball loose from Castagnola, and Kinlaw dove on it, and Oklahoma makes a break for themselves. First down at the Ohio State 43-yard line. The first turnover in the ball game for Ohio State.
Plenty of time left, too. A lot of penetration here. Castagnola fakes to Springs. You can see number 70, Dave Hudgens, comes right in, ignores the fake, and shakes the ball loose, in addition to, who is 62 there? I couldn't
Reggie
tell.
Kinlaw.
Is that Kinlaw there?
All right, Dean Blevins, the quarterback, delivers it outside. It is David Overstreet, the freshman running back, and he's inside the 40 to the 39 for 3, 2nd and 7 coming. Well, a year ago, in a cold, cold, bitter November day in Lincoln, Nebraska, we saw Oklahoma pull one out. But the man that triggered that one, Woody Shepard, halfback on an option pass, not here. Victor Hicks wide to the right, Rhodes to the left. Blevins gives it up the middle, Kenny King, and he's inside the 30-yard line to the 29. It's a first down for Oklahoma as Dave Atkins made the tackle for the Buckeyes.
He's got a shot there of Woody looking up at that clock, wondering how much time is left.
Oklahoma trying to cash an opportunity here as a result of Castagnola's fumble, or perhaps more the result of Hudgens' good defensive play. First down from the Ohio State 29. The pitch is outside to Elvis Peacock. Peacock trying to find some daylight. Good defensive flow by Ohio State. Lost 2 yards.
Every one of the Buckeyes are over there, 11 of them, right there where Peacock was.
Aaron Brown, who's playing the middle guard position, gets out of there and gets to the wide side of the field. About as good as any middle guard I have ever seen.
He can really flow.
Whoa, look at here. The Bulldogs of Mississippi State fighting back. Florida had them down, but now they're back in that hunt, aren't they? 2nd down and 11. The pass to Rhodes. Caught! Good catch. The ball was drilled in there by Blevins at the 20. Tom Roach, the strong safety, hit him hard, but Rhodes hung on.
Here's Rhodes coming down the left sideline. He just turns. It's a turn in. Blevins faking to the left through. A right-hander throwing from his left side is very difficult. He put it right in there.
First down, Oklahoma. No, it is not a first down. It is 3rd down and a yard, a short yard. 3rd and a short yard. Second man, Overstreet. Crowd roared. Helmet came out of there. They thought it was the ball. Overstreet still has it. He's down to about the 18. Should be a first down Sooners. It is.
Speculate on the possibility of a score and a 2-point play, which would knot up this game.
Always think of that. What is this?
It's ironic because the only turnover that Ohio State has had has now put Oklahoma in good field position.
You get one across here. It is first down from the 18. Blevins to Overstreet. And he ran right out of the arms of Lenny Mills. And then Mike Guess finally tumbled him out. So he advanced it from the 18 to the 13. Got 5 yards.
Well, pretty good game there. It's second down, 5.
4 minutes to go in the game. 4 minutes exactly. Second and 5 from the Ohio State 13. King in motion. They pitch it to Overstreet. Runs away from a tackler. And Ross runs him down. Oh, Ross and Joe Allegro was coming. The strong safety on the blitz, and he just missed him.
Well, Allegro had him for a loss. And Overstreet got away from him. Here's Ross, number 16, who's had a great afternoon. Here he is flowing with the play. Working away, if he can, from the blocker, Hicks. And there he is making the tackle.
Playing the open side of the field. Reserve linebacker last year. Had big shoes to fill. Bob Gudzinski. Third down, 5. Peacock. Sandwich. They drill him right around the 12. And that'll be 3 yards short of the first down. It'll bring up a fourth down and either 3 or 4, depending on where they give the advance.
You could see Greg Roberts, who had pulled on the play, signaling to the sideline that Peacock should have gone around and followed him around the corner. Peacock saw daylight inside and went back to the inside.
It will be fourth down and right at 4 yards to go for Oklahoma, just outside the Ohio State 12.
Good things are happening. Good things are happening with Eyewitness clearances.
Hi, I'm Shelley Courtney.
Play in the game. Fourth down. Fourth down, and it is a short 4 or a long 3. Let's call it 3. 4th and 3 for Oklahoma at the Ohio State 12.
I think Ohio State.
They got him, but there's a penalty flag thrown by the line judge, and I'm not so sure but what one of the red shirts didn't move on the left side of the defensive line.
That's what it looked like, Keith. It looked like the left guard. Yeah, they signaled it. There it is. Boy, that's a big penalty.
Is it ever? That will give Oklahoma a first down as 5 yards. Well, will it give them a first down?
Yeah, it'll give them a first down. Right. You'll watch here Aaron Brown, number 55, moves before the ball snaps. Crosses the neutral zone, and that is a big offside.
First and goal to go. Just outside the 7. Second man, Peacock. Again, the crowd roars as somebody's helmet comes off. Dave Atkins makes the stop on Peacock. He reached right at the 5. You see something loose rolling around out there on the field.
I think it's a ball.
Second down and goal to go now from the 5. 2 yards for Peacock.
This is what college football is all about. Here we are with the clock winding down. Under 2.5 minutes to go. Oklahoma with the ball at the 5-yard line.
It's back to Overstreet. Out about the 3. Just about the 3-yard line. That young freshman not only has quickness, but he's strong. He had 2 people over there, Blanco and Guess, and he hauled them for a yard.
Ran the corner. Okay, it's getting tough down in here.
Third down and goal to go at the Ohio State 3-yard line. 2:12 to play in the game. Blevins keeps to the 1. Well, they are squeezing every ounce of drama out of this, aren't they?
Sure are.
It is now on the 1-yard line, or maybe just a little short of it. No, it's closer to the 2.
Yeah.
It is 4th down. inside the 2. Peacock, touchdown!
I thought there was motion on the part of Oklahoma just before the ball was snapped.
No flag.
No flag down?
Nope. The Sooners now with a chance for the 2-point conversion and to tie it up. 28-26. Ohio State's first turnover. A fumble forced by Dave Hudgens of Oklahoma, tackle, recovered by Reggie Kinlaw. And Oklahoma utilizes that opportunity to hammer it home. And here's the 2-point try to tie the game. Levens, Peacock, no. Mike Guess and Paul Ross. Or Paul Ross and Mike Guess.
Oh, what a defensive play.
And we have some spectators who have spilled out the stands to join the cheering as the Buckeyes hold on to a 2-point lead and get the ball back with 1:29 to play in the game. First, the Oklahoma touchdown, and watch this determination by Elvis Peacock.
Levin comes down, makes the ball to Kenny, pitches the ball out to Peacock. Peacock makes a sensational effort getting into the end zone. He's hit it about the 2-yard line, spins and turns, and gets into the end zone just barely for the score. Here's another view of it.
Watch Mike Guess, who tried to set himself to drive him back, and Peacock is so mobile that he didn't give him the full shot. He just gave him half of it right there.
Turned,
twisted in.
Just twisted and spun in there and just barely got into the end zone. Here's a 2-pointer. It's the option down the line. Levens dealt the ball off probably just a shade early. They had no leverage on it. And, of course, you can see he was knocked out of bounds at about the 3-yard line, and what a big defensive play for the Ohio State Buckeyes.
And here comes an onside kick. You can almost bet your mortgage on it. Oklahoma may have it.
Got it.
Let's see which one of the Sooners got it. Ohio State man reached out for it, and the ball caromed off his arm. And the Sooners, for a fact, have the ball. I want to give proper credit to the Sooner that dove under there to get it, because it was quite a wrestle. It looks like 14. It is number 14, Mike Babb, a junior from Ada, Oklahoma.
The ball was kicked firm enough to go out of bounds. You generally put your best guys up there with their hands. You can see that in this particular case, he was falling forward as he attempted to recover the ball, and the ball goes to the Sooners. Here it is, another angle of it. You see the ball is really kicked firmly. It is a tough chance. You might have let that go on through the next receiver.
Michael Strawheen, a reserve quarterback, was the man that let the ball get away from him. From midfield, pass complete. It is caught by Steve Rhodes, and it's first down, Oklahoma, at the Ohio State 33-yard line.
They're dropping off. Rhodes just comes right down the field. You can say he's being played very loosely. He avoids the first tackler, and big positive yardage on the play.
The wind is at their back. Uwe von Schoemann is a good man with the tee. He's 5 for 5 in field goals. We have a minute to play in the ball game. First down, Oklahoma, Ohio State 33-yard line. They are now within field goal range. It's Kenny King over the right side, and he takes it to the 26-yard line with a block from Clappin and Roberts and a tackle by Dave Atkins.
Clock is down to 44 seconds.
I tell you, Harold, I don't think I can handle successive weeks like this. After Alabama, Nebraska last week, Von Schoemann walking around, holding the kicking tee in his hand. The clock running, 30 seconds to go in the game. Second down and 3 at the 26 for Oklahoma. They give the ball to the second man, Overstreet, and he's dropped short of the 25-yard line. Clock is running now with 18 seconds to play, and time called by Oklahoma.
You think the game of football isn't something? Here's this dude's got to kick the ball.
The heat will be on Uwe von Schamann when we come back with 18 seconds to play.
This OU Classic moment is brought to you by Bob Moore Auto Group.
I remember when the game was over, I was walking out to shake hands with Woody, and I saw one of our managers walk up. He was about 5 feet in front of me, and of course everyone was running all over the field. Woody was looking for me. I'm looking for him. I saw him. He didn't see me. One of our managers stuck out the hand to grab Woody, and he just backhanded him out of the way. So I just veered off for the locker room. So I didn't know what he was going to do with me. So I lost my guts and went to the house.
The world-famous monument, the End of the Trail, is featured at the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum. And for world-famous deals on monumental cars, visit Bob Moore Saturn.
Oklahoma at the Ohio State 26-yard line. The Sooners have one timeout remaining, 18 seconds to play in the game. They send Kenny King up the middle with the ball to get it to about the 23-yard line. Now it will bring up a 4th down and a yard. And the Sooners spend the timeout, their last of the ball game, with 6 seconds to play. Von Schamann 5 for 5 in field goals so far this season. The ball will be kicked from the 31-yard line. It will be a 41-yard field goal. He has plenty of leg from that. The ball is toward the right hash mark. The wind is at his back. Woody Hayes on the sidelines is helpless at this point. He can only hope that one of his stalwarts will come on the field blocking, or that perhaps the Sooners might make a mistake. Von Schamann has kicked 2 in the game, 28 and 33 yards. He can win it right here for Oklahoma. Mark Lucky is the center. Bud Hebert is the holder. And now Ohio State takes a timeout, and I was almost sure that Woody would do it to build the pressure. Our research today by Jerry Klein, our statistician. There's a Big 8 country. Big Mike. 41-yard field goal to win it. It is long enough. It is good. Wow. With 3 seconds to play in the game, the Oklahoma team and some of their fans have come onto the field in exultation as Von Schamann hit it on the money. Just a few yards away from this exultation, Ohio State players still lying prostrate on the field, pounding the turf in frustration, walking dismally away. Oklahoma jumped to a 20-0 lead. Ohio State stormed back to score 28 unanswered points and lead 28-20. Their first turnover, a fumble, and Oklahoma took the ball in for the touchdown to pull within 2 as they failed on the 2-point conversion. And then Oklahoma, exercising opportunity once more from midfield, took it down to field goal range, and a 41-yarder by Uwe von Schamann is good, and it's 29-28 Oklahoma with 3 seconds to play in the game. Wow.
It's ironic that the 2 turnovers, Castagnola and, of course, the onside kick, have led to scores that have put Ohio State behind.
Here's the kick, and now watch what follows. He really nailed it dead center. The snap was on the money, the hole was perfect, and he knew he had it when he hit it. Kelton Densler was the only Buckeye to penetrate, and then the party started.
There was a celebration. Look at this. And now you really appreciate the importance of the kicking game. College football, any kind of football.
Well, 3 seconds to play. Lightning could strike. But Von Schamann has to be so high, the adrenaline flowing. He has to have the strongest leg in captivity right now. He'll probably knock it all the way into the street. Ray Griffin is the beat man for Ohio State, along with Ron Springs and Jeff Logan. A 5-yard penalty for delay of the game for the Sooners, but they don't care.
They want that clock to start.
It up in the air.
They want the clock to start.
And it does. and it stops with 2 seconds to play. So Ohio State, the moment they got the ball, call time, and they will get the football with 2 seconds to play.
The kick that made the difference. Look at the reactions.
Again, to go back to that Ohio State turnover, though, that gave Oklahoma the chance to score the touchdown. The fumble was forced out of Castagnola's arms by Dave Hudgens and recovered by Reggie Kinlaw. Another look at the big three-pointer. First meeting in history between these two institutions and two great football teams, and he nailed it right down the middle. Well, I would say, because of the circumstances and the pressure, Lordy, I would have to give the offensive player to Von Shawman, wouldn't you?
he did the job. He won the football game with that kick.
He kicked 3 field goals.
Right. If he doesn't kick them, why, there's no way.
That's right. And the defensive player, Paul Ross, number 16 of Ohio State, who was absolutely superb as a defensive player. Well, this college football spectacular, the executive producer, Roone Arledge, coverage of today's game, producer Chuck Howard, our director, Andy Sedaris, our technical director, Lynn Alfonso, our associate producer, Rick Lasavita, our associate director, Vic Gonzalez, our engineering supervisor, Bob Armbruster, unit manager, Barbara Seif, associate to the producer, Kurt Gowdy Jr. And here's the final play of the ball game. Castagnola back to throw, getting some pressure. Oklahoma dropping back. He's still running around and still knocked down, and finally he is loose, runs it up the sidelines, keeps on coming, and finally the final tackle of the ball game is made by Dave Hudgens, and that is a fitting payoff to the whole story, because it was Hudgens who was very much a part of the moment that offered the opportunity for Oklahoma to ultimately win the ball game by a score of 29-28. The Prudential College scoreboard will be coming up shortly. But this first meeting ever between Oklahoma and Ohio State, just as exciting as everybody had anticipated it might be.
This special presentation of Oklahoma versus Ohio State is brought to you by the employees of Bob Moore Auto Group, Norman Chrysler Jeep Dodge, home of Norman Nobody, St. Anthony, What Matters Most, and Hudeberg Auto Group. Advantage Doppler HD, the fastest radar in the world. Severe weather information 9 times faster than anyone.